proceed as if, what up, Diddy? We're going to proceed as if we're good.
Yeah.
Because, nigga.
Absolutely.
I had started setting up my spare phone.
Wow.
It's on the charger and everything. I literally just opened up the blinds. And I was having issues because I ain't had them open in a while. So, like, they was, like, weird. So I'm fixing them.
you're trying to get them.
And I finally get them open. As soon as I get them open, beep, beep.
Woof. Oh, that's why you got all that extra light on your face.
Nigga, yeah, I ain't get a chance to even reset. When they cut off, they cut back on at full.
Yeah.
So I mean, let me fix these.
I'm still thinking I might need a little more. Look, the rest of this room is dark. I just got the one light right up here, shining down here, trying to see what it do. But I don't know if it's enough, and I feel like it may not be enough right now, only because yours is so goddamn bright.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry about it. I'm working on it. Got that one. This one. Hey, I should be able to fix this one from my phone.
But you like?
Yeah, I know I can do it with this one, but this one I don't remember.
Yo, I've never seen a phone app that would allow you to fix the blinds. That's crazy that they
got
that kind of technology.
Shut up.
Oh,
shut up. God. McKenna, Mike, Vermin, what's good? What's good,
peoples?
Hey, okay. All right, so we can do it. All right, give me.
Mike said he's first from the land of cheese.
All right, we got that. Now,
pockets full of fatness.
Bang. All right. That's
much
better.
Look at that. Let me look at that. Let me really take a look at that. I could go up maybe one stop on that thing. All right. Hold on.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. All right. Y'all may not notice it, but full disclosure over here. Apologies to y'all because we're slightly late because while we were setting up and getting the pre everything together, my power decided that it wanted to go out. So yeah,
we got a whole Noah's flood thing happening over here in Baltimore.
It's not though. It's not even raining that hard.
No, I have a flood advisory on my screen.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yo,
but I'm further down south than you.
Yes, that's so true.
That could be.
Yo, I don't even think it's raining no more here. Like,
it's still raining out here. It's still raining.
I don't understand why the fuck the power went out. Like yesterday, when the power went out, it was raining. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Right.
This time, no, not so much. I mean, a light drizzle.
Yeah.
Maybe. Now it's not raining at all right now, currently. But I don't know. Fuck it. We're back. Hopefully we stay that way.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't go down again. We claiming it that it's not. So
that was really annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Oh God. Let me see what we got over here. I was working on some music, and I had never saved it.
Oh no!
It's fine. Like I said, that autosave.
Yeah.
Ooh, that autosave.
That's true.
It do what it's supposed to do in FL. So I ain't mad.
That's a good point.
Let me just find that and make sure that's good. Data.
So much happened this week, man. It's crazy.
Bruh. I actually think I need to go first because you got the juicy stuff.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Wait, data. Not DaVinci image line. But where I don't see. Hold on. Data.
I guess when the went up,
documents.
they got rid of all the documents and shit too.
Shut up. Amazon FL Studio projects. Backup.
What up, Jonathan?
1035. Good job. What up, Jonathan? All right. So how much work do I have to redo? Let's see. The good thing is I was done with the creative part, so I shouldn't have to recreate anything. Dope. I was arranging. Come on. The suspense is killing me. I'm gonna need you to hurry up. And doesn't look like I have to do anything. Nope. I ain't gotta do shit. Good job. All right. Now let me properly save you.
Yeah. Time to do some shit. Time to do some shit properly.
A little bit of a good idea. Should probably save you. Yeah, it's probably what should happen. All right, we in F minor. So E to F minor. All right. Got that out of the way.
What's up, Ken? Hey, sis. Hey, Vermin said,
What up?
Best way to start Saturday morning, even though he's been at work for 3 hours already. God damn. God damn.
That's disrespectful.
It is disrespectful.
No one should ever have to work for 3 hours on a Saturday.
No, for real. Would that the world would be that way? Well, I mean, we're technically working for 3 hours.
Nah, this is different.
No, we're not doing that.
It's different. It's fun.
Because if we ever go at Spider Fee for money.
No, fuck that. We can tell them that. Yeah. No, absolutely. We can tell them that. Let me see. I don't need all this shit. I don't have to. This fucking drive has 3 free terabytes. I don't.
Oh shit!
I have no reason to delete anything. All right. I'm ready.
Ready? I'm ready. Ready and raring to go. Let's get this intro out of the way. Wait a minute. Hold up. Throat's feeling a little parched.
Okay. All right.
But it's allergy season.
I'm not even.
I'm saying
it is.
Me. All right, bet. Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SPJ.
You.
And I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective.
Facts
indeed. Now, conspicuous once again by his absence, we have my man It'll Do.
He can't spell it.
AKA Adequate. Right? He got some overtime this week, so we are never gonna stop somebody from getting the bag.
Hell no. Get that money, black man.
Get that money. And I'm sure if he doesn't have overtime next week, he'll join us next week. But right now, look, money hard to get out here now. So go get yours, bro.
Facts.
Go get yours. Also, speaking of that, Mike says Geese got him again. All right, so so peep the game, right? Peep the game. It's so funny because right around the time when Addy messaged yesterday, I believe, about his work situation, I had my phone and I got it on the phone, and as I opened the door to go outside, What did I hear?
Nah,
Loud as fuck.
nah.
The geese was out there.
Yo, that's funny.
And to show you the difference between me and my esteemed broadcast partner, Adequate. See, they didn't stop here. They didn't go on my lawn. They didn't walk down no sidewalks and no streets. They kept it pushing. The honk that you heard coming from above, that was them checking in.
Okay, all right. Let's not.
Boy, man, checking in.
I'll let you slide with a lot of things. Master of Geese is not going to be one of them.
Listen,
nope, that's where I draw the line.
You're checking in, man. You're checking in because you know when you go to somebody else's area, it's always
those demon spawn check in with no one.
Look, all I can tell you is they ain't dropped no turds. They ain't do nothing. They honked and they kept it moving.
Only being in the universe that they may consider checking in with, and it's simply because of respect, is the honey badger.
Listen.
Other than that,
while it's true, the honey badger don't play, right? We know that, right? However, the fact remains, all that bully boy shit you saw them doing in Addie's cul-de-sac.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that they didn't come bully you. Yes, absolutely. But no, I don't.
They know I'm not buying that lawn shit. I don't play that lawn shit.
Yeah, again, I really don't think that's it. I think it was just like, nah, he ain't do nothing. I think that's more.
Eddie ain't do nothing to them get next.
You can never. I can never accept the phrase "Eddie ain't do nothing." I just can't. Look, I can't personally.
All I'm gonna tell you is this: the evidence speaks for itself. Not a car on the block.
No, but that wasn't quite.
Now listen.
That's not even circumstantial evidence.
Listen.
It's okay. All right.
Look, these things happen. I get it. I get it. How difficult it is.
I'll allow you to believe. Wow. No. Hell no. Fuck that. No. Yet.
9.
Hapana. No.
Le.
This is not. I can't. I cannot allow you. No.
Look, man. All I can tell you is what happened.
You can sit on here and a lot of these good people. I just.
Oh man, look. I'm just telling you what happened, bro. But
I hear you.
That is one thing that took place, and it's a couple things we definitely gonna talk about today. We gonna talk about it. But the one thing I don't know how to start because I got some fairly cool news. I don't know if that should come at the end because we gonna be fussing a little bit. Just in a little bit, we might be fussing a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So again, since you got the big stuff, let me go first.
Okay.
But to that question, yes. I do think you should put the good stuff at the end.
Bet.
All right. So,
hey, yo, Mike is ass. Yo,
that's funny. Yo, hilarious. All right. So,
question before you start.
Yeah.
The video of all of this goes on the streaming service, right? You still putting the video up, or is just okay? That's all I need to know. So I need to know.
Yeah, we still got video. Yeah. So I saw Doctor Strange Thursday. I was going to troll the guy that was crying about trailers being spoilers by asking if I could put a bunch of fake spoilers in the group, but then I thought about all the unintended targets in the group who I didn't want to potentially trigger.
Right.
So I just let it go.
Right.
I did kind of take a shot when I posted the link to Facebook. I said something let me read it. I said something to the effect of where we at? Multi-world entertainment. Where we at? Come on. Doctor Strange thoughts. No spoilers at all. The real or the fake kind? Well, the trailer is in the background, but you could just listen to it. So yeah. So anyway, anybody that wants to know spoiler-free thoughts, completely spoiler-free thoughts about Doctor Strange, y'all can go ahead and check that out on the Multiware Entertainment YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
Also, I want to clear up, just for posterity's sake, why I was attacking the music that I was attacking these past 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I'm making a point.
Yes.
It's similar to the R. Kelly thing. Even though a different argument was made.
Oh, sorry.
The point that I'm making is because with the R. Kelly thing, the argument was from your generation that, y'all knew, talking to our generation, y'all knew all this back then, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. We were 8.
Yeah, yo, I'm gonna tell you, bro, of all the foolish things and takes that surrounded that R. Kelly situation, that was amongst the dumbest.
It's like, bro, we were children, legitimately children, like
authentically.
It's not to say that
vintage
we couldn't possibly understand some of the stuff.
Yeah, but what could
of course we could. Right, there was zero that we could do, like legitimately nothing. And for those of us that may have thought, like, yo, this ain't right, and then we look at our adults, and they ain't doing nothing or saying nothing about it.
And they making excuses.
They making excuses and jokes.
And how many of y'all have memories of a time when you were 8 of shit like that was happening in adult pop culture that you remember now at 30 something? You don't like come on, like, see,
right?
Motherfuckers be hiding from accountability,
bruh.
We gonna talk about it, but
yeah. like this and these are like these just keep feeding into the things that I have issues with the whole generational gangbanging thing. Like,
it's dumb,
y'all. It makes sense to you when Surviving R. Kelly comes out, and you're like, oh, well, who was listening to his music back then? Oh, you millennials. Yeah, we were 8, 9, 10. Like, what do you?
It's it's like you said, it's gangbanging because, like, they suspend all critical thought. Like when I was younger and doing the whole gang stuff, you would suspend critical thought when it came to the other members of your gang and any situations that happen concerning them with people outside the gang. You completely suspend critical thought, and your guy's right.
Yeah,
your guy was disrespected. Your guy was this, that, and the third. And it doesn't matter. Nothing else matter. And you immediately go and ride. Right. This is the same mentality.
Same
mentality, man. Look, like Ogman says he didn't know about it till the Chappelle Show skit.
Right.
Y'all were wild young.
That was what, 2003?
Come on, man.
So I was 16. No, I was 15. I wasn't even 16 yet when it came out because my birthday's not until December. So yeah, like I find it hard.
Michael, yo, that's hilarious, yo.
Yes, I know. I watched that special. Yeah, Michael Shea is funny. So Michael Shea said on this special, listening to the national anthem for Black people is like listening to R. Kelly now. The song is still good, but it's hard not to think about the other shit. Like, it's just,
the song is good either. But
I mean, I'm not gonna go that far. But I get his point.
Yeah,
I get his point. Yeah, I'm not gonna go to. I was never really that.
I don't think that song is
musically.
That composition is not really.
Yeah, like it's
bars
okay.
ain't really coming.
Yeah, no, particularly the third and fourth verse. Like,
yeah, the ones they didn't.
Yeah, the ones. Yeah. So not yeah, like when
Bo Flex.
What up? When you it's the same type of argument, even though it's a different argument. When I hear the boomers talking about rap music, like no. You don't.
Yeah.
Point back at you. Understand your part in this.
Yeah.
Even though you weren't listening to the same type of music, the music you was listening to, they was wilding in these streets.
They were wilding, B.
Like, what are you? Nah, B, I'm not accepting that.
This is the other thing that's crazy about that. Because if you talk to any pastor, right, that was alive before and actually working in his field before the hip hop was even on the board, they would often condemn rock music and a lot of that rhythm and blues stuff. So y'all always turn into y'all grandparents, man.
Bruh.
Y'all always turn to y'all grandparents.
Every time. Without a little bit of self-awareness, it's destined.
Yeah, it's destiny.
Like, come on, bro. All right, let me see. I have screenshots. I think I have another dumbass of the week. Actually, I thought I did until we started seeing some of the stuff.
There's so many dumbasses.
Yeah. But let me pull this up, because these motherfuckers, I'm not sure that I understand is the thing.
You might even say inevitable.
So I'm scrolling through Facebookity.
That's you should never do that,
bro. Listen, it's habit, yo.
Yeah,
it's all it is. It's habit. So I remember we if you remember, we talked about this comic book group that I found.
Yes.
Comic book creator group.
22,000 members in it.
Amazing group. So again, I was looking for similar groups, and I found one on podcast, and it is not similar. It's not similar. It is.
You know what? I'm not surprised to hear you say that, and the reason I say that is because in this podcast space, there are some truly odd ducks and toxic.
Bruh, you know how much of a bad light is on podcasting, particularly our demographic?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
bruh. I didn't realize, because I don't listen to podcasts. Yeah. So I didn't realize that it was what it was, but it's a shit out here. Yeah, like I don't like damn, like fuck. But anyway, so I stumbled across this post from the group.
What'd he say? It
is a screenshot of she who shall normally not be named on this show, but I have to for context.
Right.
Candace Owens tweeting, "I would never allow my children to have play dates at the homes of parents who have allowed their children to pick their gender. Such an easy way to identify adult predators." Now let's stop there. Wow. We're not responding to what she said. Fuck her. Wow. We're not responding to what she said. Fuck what she said. Here's the dumbass of the week. The person that posted this, the caption says, "Thoughts on Rihanna's statement?" Now, it's a screenshot of her tweet. Her tweet has her name. And behind the screenshot of her tweet is a picture of her, as in Candace.
Right.
But this black man looked at this picture of Candace Owens and this tweet that says Candace Owens and thought it was Rihanna.
Okay, bro, listen. I have terrible eyesight. Right? I do. So much so that I got these pair.
Word.
I got these pair over here. I have bad eyesight now. And even without both of those glasses, standing in a cave with bat guano dripping into my eyelids, there's no way I would take Rihanna for CA. Excuse me.
Yeah,
CA.
I what? Like, what do you? There's, my mind instantly went to like all black people look alike.
Yeah. Oh, bro, we know that's what was happening with that.
And but it doesn't surprise me. It upsets me every time that things like this come from other black people.
Well, bro, it should upset you. I think you have the right reaction about not being surprised, but it being upsetting. because when you get to our age and level of just awareness of watching people, when you come to the realization and people, we got to normalize motherfuckers understanding this. Black people,
but they black. It's not an excuse. Yeah.
No,
any human can hold any belief system.
Yeah, and typically, and it's here's the other thing about it. This is not really outside of the norm in cases where there are marginalized groups, and then there are dominant demographics.
Yeah.
Amongst those marginalized groups, I don't care what ethnic group they are. There's always people in that marginalized group that's going to hyper identify with the dominant demographic.
Bruh, the word dominant has a meaning.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he spelled Rihanna.
No, sis, I promise. He spelled it correctly. Here's the thing. He spelled it correctly. Later on, like hours later, I went back to see, because I commented.
Of course you did.
Oh.
Of course you did.
Nigga, I commented. Like, so you really doing this? Like, this is how you feel. This is what you're gonna do today.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Like,
that's
how
what
could you possibly confuse one for the other? Yeah. Particularly when her name is right there. Like, I don't I could possibly get maybe if you just woke up, you got the crust all in your eyes. It's a very like pixelated picture of Candace, and your screen, your brightness is really, really low.
Yeah.
And you're looking at your phone from across the room.
Yeah.
I can see maybe potentially.
Yeah.
But this is a standard picture, standard decent quality picture, and her name
is right there.
It's right there.
Yeah.
I'm like, so is it that, and I hate that I go to this extreme, but it's always where I'm going to go first, because I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with it being where I go first, because I can be swayed by evidence.
Yes.
So I'm fine jumping out the window.
Yes.
But my first thought when this type of shit happens is, do you not care about black people that much, or do you not care about women that much?
Bit of both. No, it doesn't have to be one or the other.
Right. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on?
It's a lot of them that don't care too much for black women. We're gonna talk about it. But
nigga.
We're gonna talk about it. Yeah, Shay, both.
Yeah, both. And I'm like, yo, why are you?
I'm convinced too, I'm convinced it's a grift. At least 75% of it is a grift.
And he wait, I can go through my notifications, because did anybody? I don't know if anybody reacted to my comment, but like he came on, he edited the post. So there's that. Yeah, I'm not even gonna. Come on, B. Yeah. I'm still having after effects from the power outage. I guess so.
Probably so.
Let me see. Let me turn you off and refresh you. There we go. All right. So let me see if we. Oh, that guy from yesterday still mentioning me.
Is he?
Yeah, I still have no idea what he said. I'm never going back to that post.
Right.
So he can just keep talking. I've been getting a lot of likes for that comment. I'm not going back to that.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't. Yeah. Shoot. Actually, I might go back to that post just to get to the group, because I'm having issues. What up, Cindy?
Hey, Cindy.
What's the name of the group? Black Podcast Support Network. And it's not that.
It's so funny though, that podcasting space, man. Like, and one of the things is that one of the issues they're having is that much like Howard Stern used to complain about back in the day, he had 4 hours to fill every morning. Every morning. And when you talk that much, right, it's kind of the things. What's this? I just noticed Cindy said it's her wedding anniversary today.
Oh shit!
Happy anniversary, Cindy.
Happy anniversary.
It's one of those things where when you talk so much and you are expected to comment on so much, and people are looking for all kinds of material for the show, it's gonna eventually lead them into talking about subjects that they are completely not schooled on.
Oh, absolutely.
And really don't know what the prevailing viewpoint on it is. But it's a hot thing right now out there in the news sphere. So they feel we got to talk about it. And now
here's the thing about that, though. Just say that.
Yeah.
Let it be known that you aren't the expert on this situation before you get
exactly. Yo, it's as simple as a caveat in the beginning of your take. It's just that simple. It's just that simple.
So that actually ties into something else. So this week I recorded the next video for a deeper dive, and because it was really mostly a woman's issue, I recorded it and then I sent it off to be vetted by women. Because
for a second, this level of care that SBJ put into the content does not take a whole lot of effort. Provided you've actually cultivated and curated relationships with people in said group. Listen, there's something to be said where if you live in certain parts of the country, you don't have access to certain groups, right? They're not there. Except for the fact that part. And this is that particular thing there is the bane of all those shitheads out there who feel like they should be allowed to comment without caveat on every single experience, including the ones that they have never experienced, right? They would hate the fact that you went and did that because they love to have this feeling that they are entitled to have an opinion respected, even if it's about an experience that they've never had or knowledge they've never worked for to get, right?
Right.
And this is the day and time that we live in, and the internet cultivates that entitlement. They see something flash across the screen as a headline. They don't click on it and read the goddamn thing. They go, oh, that's what happened?
Yeah.
And then they go right on social media and they parrot whatever headline they heard, and then they give these uninformed takes around the shit, and you're 100 comments in, and then somebody comes in and goes, oh, no, you definitely didn't read that article. And then the person doubles down.
Right.
Like, this is what internet culture has cultivated. So while everybody is so upset and so pissed and so wringing their hands over cancel culture, I would love some of that outrage to actually be filtered over to those
I'm
of
actually
you that
doing
won't
an episode on cancel culture too.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, yo, you angry about that? Be angry about people who spread misinformation, because this happens a lot more than people getting canceled. A hell of a lot more, right? But we know who you are by what you prioritize, right?
Very simple.
And I can honestly tell the tier with which I slide your opinion in by what you prioritize. Right?
Basically, yeah. It was I don't like it. It just makes to me,
right?
It just simply makes sense,
right?
Like I didn't survey them and ask them their opinion about it.
Right.
I gave my opinion, and before I put it out for the world to see, hey, can y'all check this out real quick? Make sure I'm not bugging. Like,
right? Am I bugging? Because this is an opinion piece, and but it's supposed to be also based on there's facts which I'm trying to use to inform this opinion. But part of this is the intangible of human experience, and a particular human experience that I don't have.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go towards people who are more likely to have had that experience. That just makes sense to do. But see, the reason people don't is because that not doing that is rewarded.
Yeah.
It's rewarded.
Yeah. And I appreciate the praise that I've gotten for doing this.
It's a crazy concept, SBJ.
It's so novel, right? I appreciate the praise that I've gotten for this, but this is the way that my mind works. This is a completely selfish thing that I'm doing. I'm doing this because I like being accurate.
Right.
I like being on the right side of things.
Right.
So,
right. However,
instead of putting a shit take out there,
that is can be quickly. But I gotta say though, because of the nature how everything works, and because we live in bizarro land, that does need to be praised. Because I just mentioned earlier that not doing that gets rewarded.
Yeah.
So obviously the way humans work is if you don't reward in any type of way, they might continue it or see it as something they should be engaged in. Yeah, it's sad to say, but you little pooches need your little stupid stuff to do the right thing and shit.
Thanks.
And if you come to me and ask me why that is, I will be the first to tell you, right, wrong, roll. But whatever the case is,
I mean,
that's what it is.
I think that's just the animal side. Like,
probably.
I think it's just the animal side. Animals, the way animals tend to reason is very basic.
Yeah. So,
I did this. I got this. Oh,
he was an animal.
Okay, so I should probably keep doing this.
There we go.
That's it. Oh, I did this. I got this. I ain't like that. Maybe I should stop doing this.
Stop doing that.
Yeah, so
I got nothing. So why should I waste my time?
Maybe
they didn't get anything good or anything bad. But they're like,
okay, I may or may not do this again. Then.
Right.
I'll take it or leave it. But yeah, so I simply asked him, like, how do you get this wrong? Particularly with her name right there. He never responded.
Oh, of course he didn't respond.
He never responded to me. But other people that called him out, he basically left the stock comment of a correction has been made. LOL. A correction has been made. LOL. A correction has been made. LOL. Under every single comment that says this is not Rihanna.
Do you know how bad? Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all. First of all, let me read. I love this special space props. I always try to check stuff I'm iffy on before commenting about shit. It's the one thing I've tried to instill in my son: be confidently right by being confidently wrong.
Bro,
no facts.
That's almost the best way to explain my feelings on the situation.
Yeah.
I felt deep inside me that the take I was going against was wrong.
Right.
Deeply.
Right.
Like it was almost to the point where I could not be convinced that my take was wrong.
Right.
And because of that, I was like, hold on. Let me go ahead and ask the people that this would actually affect.
That's the other thing about that. I'm always careful to see. Wait a minute, who's agreeing with me?
Right.
Because if that person is typically on the wrong side, then I definitely that makes me check what I'm about to say doubly. Like, whoa. They said that too. Nah, I really got to check. Because these motherfuckers are routinely wrong about a lot of shit.
And it's like, as I'm putting it together, I'm like,
yeah,
no, this sounds very similar to some shit that I don't like.
Facts. Look, Ogma says, then when you post a peer-reviewed study for them to peruse, they go, oh, who did that study? They bought and paid for scientists, the mainstream media, the internet. Actually, this is a peer-reviewed double-blind study. That's why it's not for the Yo, see, listen, I'm in the same boat there with Og because I stopped feeding the trolls because I know I saw something. While there is benefit to other people reading the exchange and learning something from it, I had to prioritize my time. And I was getting a bunch of that.
Yeah.
Where they didn't even look at the study.
Right.
They didn't even look at it.
So why would they?
Yo, right. Come
They have the answer already.
It literally has the answer of who did the study right there in the study.
Well, who did this? So clearly you didn't read it.
No, they're throwing up when they say stuff like that, they're throwing up feces like gorillas do. They throw up feces and leaves and stuff to make themselves seem bigger than what they are because they're intimidated by the what's up, Joe? They're intimidated. You feel me? So that's why they're doing that.
Yeah. It's a whole thing.
It's a mess.
I think that's it. Hold up. Do I have another screen? I have another screenshot, but I don't know if it's. How do you confuse it with Rihanna even with her name there?
Yeah. How do you do
that? Yeah. Everything else has to do with old boy. Yeah, everything else has to do old boy. So yeah, I'm good.
So my week of events and observations. It's funny because last week we talked about someone referring to a trailer as a spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
And while we all found that to be utterly, objectively absurd, right? There are people out there that will straight up attempt to spoil, by the definition of spoiler, your experience before you go see this movie. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's some shit that they on because I can think of much better things like drinking water and getting money. Shout out to DNA. Like there's a whole host of things.
It's a bunch of other things you could have chosen.
It's besides making that the thing, and that's what that's kind of what I saw this week. Well, I thankfully didn't really see the whole thing. Like just scrolling, and my peripheral vision, because I turned away, I saw something that even looked like it was a discussion of the Doctor Strange movie. And just from certain key words that I saw being used, told me that this motherfucker's not going to stop. He's not going to stop. They're going to keep going, and they're going to talk about things that I don't want to hear until I go get to see it next week. So I told myself, rather than me trying to stop a tsunami of people that's on that bullshit.
Yeah, Surf been on a tear lately. I don't think it's good to go up against him right now. Oh, okay. No, that's not you. Okay, my bad.
Not that.
My bad.
Rather than me do that, I can control my behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
easily.
Simply, not easily, right? So I have just really kind of been off of my usual perusing of social media. I curtailed it. So I might be in the chat speaking to my business partners and fam, right? But other than that, I don't really be, it's not even to the same frequency because I just know one of these days I'm going to just slip right into it. It's going to be a screenshot. It's going to be something, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to deal with that. That's the responsible way, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
To handle this situation rather than make the attempt to be Don Quixote, jousting windmills. That shit's not going to work out for you. You know what I'm saying? No, I have not seen it yet, Joe. I have not seen it yet. The other thing this week, observation I made this week. Well, in order for me to truly get into the mood to talk about this next take, I can't talk about it without playing this.
Far more our country is in serious trouble. We are not enemies. We don't have victories anymore.
Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate.
You're good at putting all these people on a pedestal, except for you, it's nothing new. I guess you think the bottom has a better view. You see through all this minuscule, savage mass, pitiful and consequential, only useful when it's time to make a move. Obvious, but still you're fool. Slave to every word they say. Election time, you gathering your masses just to yell hooray. Conditions seem to stay the same regardless of their promises. The problem is you seem conditioned, loving all their drama. It's painfully apparent that you roll on with the current, even if the water's
We're gonna go to the chorus, y'all.
It's the call of personality, and all they gotta do is spew everything they think you want to hear because you're gullible. I refuse to stand with you, cause honestly I've had enough. Your brain's a little God machines making up the street stuff, and you can't even see yourself. Must you caught up in your nature waiting for that great emancipator? But fuck that, I want
no more messiahs, no more liars, no more kingdoms, and no more sires.
No more fuckers thinking like you're so pious, and no more excuses for your brain. So
why did I play that song? I wrote that song back in 2016 because I observed, being an observer, the human absolute compulsion to try to find somebody nuts to crawl up under and basically have their will become their will. Right?
I mean, it do be cold sometimes.
Get a coat. Get a coat.
Yeah, it's probably a better alternative.
Like that. I'm saying, for those of you that may be unaware, some of you may not even know. Thank you, Jonathan. Some of you may not even know who this guy is, but there are those of you that do. The podcaster / content creator Kevin Samuels passed away this week. And first, let me say I'm giving some thoughts to his mom, because she commented and all of that too, because we are not uncivilized over here.
I just want to hold on. I have to come. I'm conflicted on what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. Poor Mama Kevin, because she said something to the effect of, I found out on social media. I wish. Now that part's not the funny part, but she said something to the effect of, I wish social media would have waited to say something. Ma'am, I understand that you don't understand how the internet works. He was 56. Right. So yeah. But it's like, ma'am, you that's not how this
works. It's not how this works. Here's the thing. Kevin Samuels came to great prominence over the last 15 months for his commentary about relationships. Initially, most of his content was about critiquing black males. That got him nowhere. But magically,
that wasn't even his beginning. His beginning was like,
he was doing fashion and
colognes
and all that. Yeah, he was doing all that. So but okay. So in the commentary space,
so he changed several times.
Yeah,
he was a content creator.
He was a content creator looking for some niche that was going to blow his name up. None of those things did that. People certainly buy cologne. That wasn't enough. People certainly do all those other things that he was into. That wasn't it. He started critiquing black males. That wasn't it. I suspect because it's done. Like, who else? Like, the moment he started critiquing, or should I put you this way? The clips that started being prioritized was when he was being disrespectful to black women. And surprisingly, there's an audience for that.
Viral.
There's an audience for that. Now, I don't have to tell y'all, as a father of a black woman, an uncle to black women, a husband to a black woman, a son to a black woman,
Mhm.
a grandson to a black woman,
All that.
and a nephew to black women. I don't have to tell you that the shit that he said was saying out of his face about black women, I vehemently disagreed with. Even which the tone of which he was using a lot of those times, wholly inappropriate, disrespectful. Nobody would want their moms talked to that way, their daughters talked to that way, all of that other stuff. And before I go any further, yes, I watched his content because there's people out there that'll try to discredit what you had to say about it if they think first thing they try to put up there is, oh, you must didn't watch enough of that stuff. Here's the thing. I didn't have to watch as much as you did because you were a fan. I just had to watch enough of it to get the lay of the land. I watched several videos all the way through. I've seen several clips all the way through. So he passes away. As you might imagine, a lot of black women who knew who he was, had heard his shit before, heard those clips before, they gave no fucks that this man died. Now, what I saw as a result of that was a bit of whining from the crowd who typically would have told black women, why y'all get mad over words? Let me make this part very clear. Kevin Samuels was not killed by a black woman. They didn't make him sick. They didn't shoot him. They didn't give him any drugs. They didn't give him no disease that killed him. None of that. He just used words the same way he used words. Now, this might come.
Sounds even to me.
Sounds pretty even to me too, right? This might come as a shock to a lot of you. But you really shouldn't be surprised that a segment of people that he insulted gave zero fucks about him dying. And yet, here we are, post after post, comment after comment. They are amazed, taken aback, caught off guard, pearl clutching. Same one saying black women shouldn't be mad about words are now mad about the words that are critical of Kevin. Is this your king? Is this your king? Y'all real funny. Y'all real funny because you're predictable. You're so fucking predictable. Every time, it seems like it's on a cycle too. Y'all always looking for somebody to follow behind. You fucking chumps. This is what happens, dads, when you abandon your children, specifically your sons. When you walk out of their lives and they don't have that attention from you and all those things, this is what happens. They go looking for another dad. And a lot of times the people that they find, they're not good role models. They're not good role models at all. Funny thing about that, Kevin Samuels was very, very critical of the concept of being a step parent. That's funny. That's funny because one of the main reasons I think a lot of these guys follow behind him so blindly is because they ain't had dads. They looking for a father figure. You know what's crazy? I had a stepdad. My biological father gave no fucks about his kids. I would not be half of the man that I am today without my stepdad.
Ditto.
What that really means, though, is I would have been a threat to all of you. And this is the thing that I think guys like him don't seem to get. It's not good for society to put forth a narrative that somehow being a step parent is bad. It's not good. I'm telling you, because without those people that are willing to step up, fall in love with the parent of the child, the biological parent of the child, and willing to be there for that kid, you send potential threats out into the world because they don't get that attention. They don't get that care. They don't get somebody from whatever sex saying, I love you, I care about you, I don't want these things to happen to you, so this is my experience with that.
Right.
Well, let me show you how to do that. But if you only come at it from this bitter, because listen, let me tell you, man, I get it. I get that part. I have been put in situations that had me bitter, had me angry. I get that. You know how I balance that out? Real simple. Every single piece of success I have ever enjoyed in this life, in these entire 53 years, a Black woman has had some part of that.
Mm-hmm.
She assisted with that. Simultaneously, some of the worst times I've had, there's been a Black woman there. So how do you balance that out?
Mm-hmm.
You don't generalize them. They're individuals.
Right. Individuals.
They're individuals. And people are going to continue to people no matter how much me and SBJ hate that shit.
Bruh.
She didn't do that because she was a woman. Because she was a person. Right? She made a choice.
Mm-hmm.
That choice did not benefit you. In some cases, it may even harmed you financially, emotionally, whatever. Physically.
Amber Heard's out here.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? But you don't generalize any group based off the experiences you've had with individuals. And a lot of that is what was happening. And it's sad for me to see a lot of us Black males on social media right now with the nonsense going at these Black women. You can't think. And maybe it was hard for some of y'all to be able to tell because things look different inside of a bully's locker. But when somebody insults you and talks trash on you, you typically don't care about them after that.
No, not
There's somebody that you don't know, that you don't have no family connection to, or nothing familiar connection to, and your first introduction to them, as they talking shit about you, that's what's going to happen. Listen, when Rush Limbaugh died, some of these same people I'm seeing were celebrating that. Now, to Rush Limbaugh's supporters, they would say, half of you haven't even watched the show. Well, it just so happens that I did a lot for years. Why, you may ask? Why would I subject myself to that? I actually did not subject myself to that. For years, I worked for a gun manufacturer that is no longer around. Or if it is, I think the last thing I heard about it, they sold it because the owner died. I worked for a gun manufacturer. I was one of 3 Black people in the whole company. So as you can imagine, throughout the course of the day in the machine shop, in the gun shop, back by the shipping area, and even in the front offices, they're playing WBAL radio, AM, Baltimore radio, and that's the conservative radio station back then. Rush Limbaugh would come on that station, and they would play, and I would listen to him. And he was a jackass. And he said things that I looked at him like, man, I should slap fire off your chubby cheeks, right? He said things I didn't like. So when and very insulting things, very racist things. So when somebody comes to me and says, you never heard it, I listened to it for years. It was what was playing every day at the place, right? So when he died, think about fuck about him. Fuck him. That's natural. That's a natural human response to somebody who has been adversarial to them their entire life. If a lot of these women were to start capping after he died and start saying, oh, this is so sad, y'all would have called them phony. And you'd have been right to. They kept the same energy. Don't think they didn't say anything about him while he was alive. They absolutely did. There's a ton of YouTube videos with Black women on there getting in his ass. There's a ton of YouTube videos with Black men on there getting in his ass. They talked about him when he was alive, and they talked about him now that he's dead. And listen, I'm gonna put myself in this situation. I have not always been this pillar of forethought and restraint.
Really?
It's true. I was toxic as hell for a lot of years. And you know what's funny?
Oh, I heard the proof.
You heard? SB Dayton heard music y'all never heard. Toxic as fuck. You know the funny thing about toxicity though? When you scrape off some toxicity and that's gone, you always gather more.
Oh yeah.
And me being conscious of that and understanding of that is what allows me to be able to function in a space where if you say something horrendously wrong about certain marginalized groups or any group that's marginalized, you can catch the fire. I can navigate that because I recognize my own blemishes.
Right.
I recognize Mike is crazy. I recognize my blemishes. You know what I'm saying? But don't get it twisted, because even now I know if I was to check out after the show went off, there's going to be a segment of people that's going to be sad. Oh, damn, Tomb gone. This is crazy. We losing everybody. And then it's going to be another segment of the people that's going to be like, finally, that grumpy, bald bastard has gone back to oblivion and celebrate it.
To be fair, there are probably people that are going to be saying some of the second thing as well as the first thing. I mean, because factually, you are a grumpy, bald bastard. Like, I'm just factually just dealing with facts.
So noted.
Okay.
I see your citation. You know what I'm saying? That's the ABA format. Got you. I see your citation. And with this comes with the territory, folks. And I got to tell you this too. From all things that I've observed from this guy, Kevin Samuels, he said what he said and didn't give a fuck what anybody thought about him. He was doing what he was doing because it benefited him to do that. In the content space, it got him plays, it got him engagement, it got him attention.
Yeah,
I would ask of the members of his church, I would ask that you take a page out of El Mashiach, your Messiah's book, and don't give a fuck that there are people online who didn't like him and are talking shit to him, even in death. Because trust me, these same people didn't wait until his death to do it. They was talking shit on him before. He didn't care. Why do you? I'm going to tell you why I think you care. I can't prove this. I can't read thoughts. You're not so much defending Kevin Samuels. You're defending yourself.
Yeah, it's transference.
Even those of you that are out there saying, well, I didn't agree with the guy, but can't believe people are mad that he's dead. I'm happy that he's dead. You can play that Mahatma Luther Gandhi shit. But you know goddamn well was people that you don't
Gandhi was a piece of shit, by the way.
Yes, he was. Yeah, yes, he was. But you know goddamn well there are people out there who you wouldn't piss in their face if their nose was on fire.
Yo, you know what's funny about that? Something that well, the original, I ain't gonna say original, but one of the variations of that is I wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire.
Yes.
The funny thing about it is
I used that in the bar before. Go ahead.
I never contemplated this before. I was watching something yesterday, and somebody was like, "Yo, you know how crazy that is? The craziest thing about it is, if you chose to do so, you wouldn't be helping anyway. So you wouldn't even do something that you know is not actually going to help the problem.
It's because it's liquid don't mean it's going to put that fire out.
Right.
Look, bro, it's real simple to me, right? A lot of the critiques that I see a lot of these brothers making when it comes to Black women that they use Kevin Samuels as a proxy for, I gotta say, bro, most of y'all that was listening to that religiously, let me say this again, religiously, a lot of y'all that was doing that, Y'all don't even fit the definition of what he said. A high-value male was. Look at his definition of a high-value male. You're not telling me
I'm
that
speaking
a
the
man
truth.
with 1.5 million subscribers, all of them 1.5 million subscribers, was high-value males. Fuck out of here. Some of y'all living paycheck to paycheck. Some of y'all don't have any savings. Some of y'all don't have a car. Some of y'all live at home with your parents. Stop the cap.
Yeah.
And just a piece of advice. You can do what the fuck you want to do. Just like these women gonna do what they want to do by commenting on shit they don't like. They're gonna do what they want to do. You can do whatever you want, but I would humbly suggest that the next time a nicely manicured suit, tie, glasses and beard, charismatic with a fanny pack walk by, stop following them. Use some.
Oh, he froze. Damn it. That's not cool. Hey, unfreeze. You were making a point. Come back. He froze? Okay, he froze. He's really froze too. I hope his power didn't go out. That would be funny. Like ironic funny, not like ha funny. Does he know that he's frozen? Can he hear me? Because you know when he gets on his rants, he tunnel vision and whatnot. All right, whatever. I'm going to bring up some of these screenshots I got about this very situation because I've collected some of them, and people is wilding out here in these streets. First of all, there you go. He's starting to fix it. It kind of looks like his computer may have gone down. All right, so what the first one? Yeah, well, it wasn't a bad freeze face, Ogma. It was not a bad freeze face. So some of the screenshots that I've seen on this particular situation. Somebody says, check on your misogynistic friends. We are not okay. It's a funny little self-awareness joke. I get it. I appreciate it. Someone says, I don't get black women who defend Kevin Samuels. He ain't like y'all at all. Weirdos. And somebody responded to that. A black woman. Oh, his internet went out. A black woman. Hold on. A black woman responded to him and said, he deliberately said he doesn't like black women, or he doesn't like bad behavior black women mostly displayed. Yikes. That is a terrible take. And actually, I'm going to stay right here because he said he's coming back, and I want him to respond to this one because, bruh, we hinted at it earlier when I was talking about the black guy who somehow confused Candace Owens and Rihanna, even though her name was right there. But anyway, it always hits me a little differently when the person that belongs to the demographic that's being targeted defends the person with the gun. And it's like, what are we doing here? Like, why? What about this person or these people is making you feel like you have to come to their aid? Because it's always the person on the top, as far as the power dynamic is concerned, that's being defended. And I'm like, they don't need your help. I mean, sure, in this case, he's dead. So sure, he couldn't possibly defend himself. But yeah, I just don't. I think it's really crazy that would even be
off on. Pain in the ass.
You're off.
Oh, that's facts, but that doesn't mean
Often.
you're not a pain in the ass.
You're often off. Yeah, you are a pain in the ass. What do you mean?
Mind your business.
Oh, I mean, but we were talking about.
Yeah, we were talking about. So let me just say, finish that thought off with just because somebody's charismatic, finely manicured, nice nifty suit on with a fanny pack, we're gonna keep bringing up the fanny pack. But
apparently he didn't own a house.
He didn't own a house.
Apparently, this is not 100%
right.
Apparently, he was leasing an apartment.
Wow.
And did not own a house, which
we don't know why.
I want to be clear because you said a couple things and I just said something.
Right.
This is not an attack on people that do these things.
Nope.
This is you to him.
Yeah. Fact.
Because you preach about, you got to own the house, you got to blah this and blah that and make this much and blah, blah this.
Value mail this.
Right.
That.
But you don't own a house. What do you? I don't know.
And the court, I'm not. This is the other thing I'm not completely certain about. But I've been seeing things floating around, and I haven't really had the. I don't care. But I'm not even gonna say it because I didn't even feel like checking if that was true. Right. But y'all need to watch who y'all put up there as relationship gurus. That's
with 2 failed marriages.
That's like I said, I ain't checking.
Not currently in a relationship. You would think
there's something to be said where somebody could say, being in failed marriages can teach you.
No, absolutely. I'm never that person. I hate the idea that because someone is not currently, you know what? Quick tangent. Because I thought about this week and I didn't have anywhere to put it. So fuck it. It actually fits here.
Right.
The way I look at wisdom, the idea of wise beyond your years is a misnomer, but it's based on what I feel like is a misunderstanding of the concept of wisdom. I think the concept of wisdom should be how you apply knowledge.
That's literally how I'm gonna say always been taught that that's what that meant. But I know when I got into my late teens, that's how it was always explained to me. Wisdom is the application of knowledge, not the fact just that you know some shit. If you're not applying the shit you know in any way that's efficient and effective for your life and others, you're not wise.
Facts. So with that being the case, it doesn't have to be my firsthand knowledge.
Facts.
So with that being said, if I grew up in a situation where I see my mother being a single mother
struggling,
and I'm watching what's going on, I know that I lived with my grandmother for years for that I know of 2 reasons. One, the school that I was going to, I had to live with my grandmother in order to go there. 2, so my mother could stack and build. She worked for the well, she still works for it, but the city. She was on the police side. Now she's on the fire side. But that allowed her to have. She does 12-hour shifts, and they rotate. So that allowed her to do overtime on top of that, and I have to worry about having somebody to take care of me, somebody to watch me, blah blah blah, build. By the time I moved back in with my mother, she was in the house that she was buying. So I have knowledge of how a single parent handles raising a child.
Right.
I don't have any children.
Right. You've raised
Me applying that, I've helped raise some.
Right.
But that's a part of how I was able to help raise some, because I saw the things that my mother did and I applied them
Right.
to my situation,
Right.
even though I hadn't been in that situation. It wasn't my knowledge firsthand,
Right.
but it was knowledge.
Yeah.
So the idea that you have to have gone through all 100% of a situation, or you have to currently be in
that
a situation
Yeah.
to be able to give advice on it is fundamentally flawed.
It is, bro. It is. And maybe, he was coming from perspective of someone that came from failed marriages.
Absolutely possible.
That's entirely possible.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to require that you fuckers vet these people. Because this is the y'all.
Hold up. I'm sorry. I ended that weirdly. Let me explain why that applies to him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That might be helpful. That might be helpful.
That applies to him in a different way, because it's not just that you're giving advice on a relationship and you're not in a relationship.
Right.
It's that you are building rules and requirements,
right,
and you aren't adhering to those rules and requirements.
Yeah, and you're speaking from a place of authority on certain things. And
right.
Get a classic example how people hand wave other people's the people that they like's credibility on some shit. Most of the time when I saw a lot of the comments that I saw this week about that, they would say, well, he's a life coach. So I'm gonna say this to y'all for a second. Give me the training he had.
Right.
Give me the schools he went to and the things he studied. Don't hand wave his credentials by saying he's a life coach.
And then again, he was not doing that at first.
Right. Because again, if he wasn't doing that at first, now all of a sudden that's what he's calling himself. We not doing that. I'm not the one you can play them games with. You can play those games with all these other people, but I'm going to deep dive questions for your ass. If you try to use that as this thing makes him an authority because he's a life coach, I'm gonna say, what does it entail for you to become a life coach?
Right.
That's what I'm gonna ask you. I know you're not used to people coming at you like that.
Right.
You're used to you being able to say certain shit. That's part of the problem, actually.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem, actually, with a lot of guys. You used to being able to just say some shit and not be questioned about certain things.
Right. Are you a life coach because you have some type of expertise that somebody doesn't have? Are you a life coach because you have some type of experience that somebody doesn't have?
Who was your client?
Or are you a life coach because people listen to you?
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, who are your clients? You got any famous clients we know about? Business people?
Right.
Yo,
where are your success stories?
Say that, yo. Where are your success stories at?
Even if you don't give me your official credentials or whatever,
Facts.
Where are your success stories?
Facts. And that's the thing about it, right? None of these guys have that information that I have seen, but they're all on people's threads, all these black women's threads, and commenting and caping for a guy who said that they aren't high-value males. The only reason you jacking that shit is because he started talking about black women and you start identifying with the critiques that he had about black women. That's what it is. And let me just say this.
Special space.
You say I'm a life coach because I can't do shit else. Look, the other critique I want to address before I hand it over to my man SPJ. The other thing I want to address about that is one of the defenses that they toss up is that, oh, he said a lot of good things. He said a lot of good things. So I'm going to give you some grace. I believe that's true. I believe he's given some advice on the many, many hours of his show, that his show's been in existence. He's given some probably good advice that I would look at and go, hey, that's a pretty good idea. Hey, that's not bad. But let me explain to you the analogy that I used with SPJ earlier this week. So if a white podcaster does a 2-hour show And for an hour and 50 minutes on that 2-hour show, he's saying some good shit. Shit that's helpful, shit that's needed, shit that helps people, shit that you can rock with and get behind. And then the last 10 minutes of that show, a black caller calls in and he starts berating and demeaning not just him as an individual, but his entire community. That hour and 50 minutes that he spent saying good shit does not erase that 10 minutes he spent castigating an entire group of people.
Yeah, nah, I don't care about that.
So miss me with the I'm going to excuse. If he said it, he said it. Stop playing with the bullshit. I don't care about all that. We're not talking about the other shit. We're talking about what he said that pissed these women off. That's what we're talking about. You trying to deflect. And that's that regular bullshit. You can't do that with me because I'm a male like you. I know about all that deflective shit you trying to pull. You trying to gaslight. I understand. I see. We see you. We're guys.
Yeah.
We see you.
Facts.
You're gaslighting with that.
Hard.
You're getting up there trying to mansplain to these women about how they should feel about a motherfucker that was insulting them.
Yeah.
Nah, because and the main reason, if nothing else, if nothing I said on this program today convinced you to look at that shit differently, think about this. You can't tell a motherfucker how they going to react to an insult.
Facts.
It's that simple. They ain't hurt him. They didn't kill him. They didn't do anything to him. They just used words. It's like he did. He used words.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Can't really. There's no way around it. Like,
fuck out.
To be clear, I've never watched an entire episode of this motherfucking shit because I have never had an interest. I simply didn't care. It was never something, because you don't generally anticipate somebody dying. So
no. And also,
like,
that's not content that you and I consume on a regular
basis.
No,
not at all.
The only reson I watched this shit because I heard about him.
Yeah,
like, he said what?
It was generally for argument's sake.
Yes.
Yeah. I've seen quite a few clips because of the same reason that you just mentioned. I want to be clear about one thing before I talk about him. I can only be so mad at him.
Yeah.
After he went viral with that first clip, for you as a human being with agency,
talk about
to continue to call into his show,
talk about it,
knowing what type of time he was on,
talk about it.
That's on you. This isn't like this. And I know I don't want to hear, but oh, you're victim. Like, no. And again, this is why I hate these type of arguments. Right. That's why I hate these type of arguments, because it makes me sound like someone else who I would do.
Nah, bro. Listen. Bro. Let me tell you something. First of all, in my opinion, you're not wrong about that. And the reason I say that is because this is not like the woman putting on what she wants to put on, going out, party, having a good time, and she's going home, and somebody no.
Right, no.
There is no need for you to ever call or engage with his content. No need. There are better people to talk to.
And somebody pointed out, something I watched yesterday, somebody pointed out, you're calling in, he's doing the same thing that he's been doing.
Yeah.
And you're not wilding him out.
That's the other thing. Why are you standing there? Why are you sitting there all what's the word I'm looking for?
You're basically
passive,
right?
While he is insulting you.
You have no sympathy from me because you put yourself in a situation and then you didn't defend yourself.
What they say in hip hop? What they say in battle rap? Fight back.
Fight back.
Fight back.
What was the point of you calling up here if you have an issue with the way that he's been handling these things, and you're not going to give him any pushback?
I think it's even worse than you think, bro. I am starting to believe that there is a segment of those people that get off on being talked to like that.
Oh, probably. I'm probably. Yeah, probably.
There are some people that have psychological, whatever you want to call it, that a predisposition, if you will, to people to being abused like that. Being, you know what I'm saying? And
no, I'm fairly
especially an authority figure, because even though I look at him, this is another nigga. Y'all bugging. Y'all bugging to
we didn't
him
know
on
this
this
nigga
pedestal.
was before Corona came.
Right, y'all facts. Y'all bugging, putting him up there. But they said, once again, this is what I mean by the trappings of the visual image that's being presented out there. Manicured, trying to be suave. He put out these promotional pictures with the glamour shots of him looking off in the distance, like, and y'all motherfuckers eat that shit up. You're looking at him like he's an authority. He speaks well. He's very articulate. He gets up there, and a lot of times he does the same shit Joe Button tried to do. Y'all motherfuckers kill me with that shit. I see you though. There's a tit situation happening, and they all of a sudden get calm as fuck while saying some of the most fucked up shit ever, but they get calm with it, like, well, your mom's.
It's an arguing tactic.
It is.
What it does is when you get quiet, people listen.
Yeah, they listen harder.
It's crazy. It's like it's counterintuitive to what the general person would think an argument works like. Yeah. But no, the thing is when you have somebody engaged, they want to, like, even if they aren't listening to understand, right? They still need to hear what you're saying, right? Because they're engaged in this now, right? So once if this is how it's going, and y'all going back and forth, and I'm like, all right, so no, you're going to get quiet. You're going to get quiet so you can listen. Right. And it's crazy how well it works.
Oh, it definitely works. I've seen him do that. And again, it's also a trick to the other people observing. Because if he's not being loud and rowdy and he's still staying composed, even while saying some fucked up shit, and I don't have to go through his quotes. They're out there. You can see some of the stuff he done said that's kind of crazy, right?
Oh, hold on. No. Fuck
you got him?
I don't have the exact ones, but I have the ideas.
Okay.
If you're over 37, you're a leftover, and you should be prepared to share men.
Oh yeah. What's the one thing they said he said about the we should go back to a society like the Romans had,
like the Romans,
and men only partnered with men and women were only there for breeding. Come on, B.
Yeah, like
come on, B.
These tapes.
I just saw this. I remember this particular episode, but I didn't watch the whole thing. Then until I saw the chick, I knew who it was when I saw her. I said, "Oh yeah, I remember her on it." He told her, if she messes with a guy and they have 2 kids together and she has 1 kid in a relationship before him, and that little girl says the daddy looked at her in the shower, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 that she shouldn't just take the kids' word. Right. We live in a time where you can't do that. I'm not saying,
I don't really know you. And even if I do, guess what?
My priority
discretion
is to keep my kids safe. So
discretion is the better side of valor. I'm going with the kid.
Before you traumatize my kid any further, right? I'm moving her out of the line of fire, and we gonna deal. And if the kid's lying, we'll deal with that.
But again, it goes back to what I said earlier. I'm fine with jumping out the window.
Yes.
I'm going to jump out the window to protect. Listen, in any situation where there's a confrontation, if I'm getting involved, I'm going to get involved on the side of the person that has the less chance of coming out of it victorious. I'm going with the weaker person in the situation as far as the power dynamic is concerned. Because if you have the higher balance of power, you're not in any immediate danger.
Right.
If the person on the lower end of the power dynamic is 100% making up everything, you're still not in any immediate danger.
Facts.
So no, I'm not siding with you off rip.
Right.
Evidence sways me. So if you can prove that this person was lying, oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
But right now, potentially this kid is in danger. And
Right.
what's not going to happen is 10, 15 years down the line. The kid's not going to tell somebody, I tried to tell my daddy
Right.
that such and such was doing this,
Nah,
and
dude.
he ain't do nothing. Fuck out of here. And
ain't no way.
You would think this would be something that a lot of these guys that followed him, that have kids, would understand.
Mm-hmm.
But surprisingly, that wasn't a deal breaker.
But also,
that wasn't a deal breaker.
But also, it's not always lying.
Right.
My homegirl told me this story. I don't remember the details.
Right.
But she told me the story, something about her son at daycare. And he said something to the effect of, like, somebody at the daycare abused him in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she took this very seriously.
Right.
So she went to the daycare. She did what she did. She said what she said. Then, when she got her son home, she asked him to explain. And she asked him to demonstrate.
Right.
Turns out, he had a misunderstanding of what one of the words meant. So it ended up not actually being as bad as it seemed in the beginning. Mm-hmm. He had a misunderstanding on what one of those words, action words, it might have been pluck. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Right.
He had a fundamental misunderstanding on what the word meant. And when he demonstrated it to his mother, she was like, okay, all right. This is not what that is.
Right.
This is something different. All right, now I got a phone call to make.
Right.
Now I can apologize for wilding them out for what I thought was going on. But why is that okay?
The safety of her kid.
Exactly. They were in no immediate danger.
Right.
Fuck them right now.
Right. Right.
Get the story later. Diffuse the situation.
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
And
there's no harm done there. Somebody's feelings were hurt temporarily.
Right. Yo, does this sound like rocket science to you? Is this quantum physics?
No.
Yo, and the fact that what I find even more nauseating about this is this trend and era that we're in now where everybody's a pedophile.
Bruh.
And literally using that term against people they politically disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
So I see on one hand, y'all doing that. I see y'all doing that on one hand. And then on another hand, I see you motherfuckers being very cavalier about a man telling a woman that she shouldn't prioritize her child coming to her saying that some funky shit then took place with her and a stepdad.
Right.
Like, y'all gonna have to pick a struggle. Which one are you actually passionate about? Or is there a balance between all of that shit? And y'all refuse to see the balance because Mashiach said that.
Mm-hmm.
Mashiach said that, so that must be what it is, right? And no, your little caveat about how I ain't fuck with him, but nah, the reason why I'm not rocking with that at all, because you ain't this way about nothing else. Now all of a sudden, y'all not Galactus, the planet eater. Y'all Galactus, the life giver. Miss me, man.
You want to imply nuance now.
Listen. There's a way for life to be special.
You been a hammer all your life, and now you want to be a wrench.
Right. You got all this nuance now, but you had no nuance when he was talking that shit, and you don't have enough nuance to understand that if you're the target of these rhetorical barbs and spears tossed your way, you're going to feel a certain kind of way. The fact that y'all out here telling these women they're not supposed to feel that way is crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. They absolutely have the right to feel however they want to feel about somebody insulting them. And no, they don't have to hold your hand or anybody else's hand when they comment on this man's death. They don't. Get over it. Stop snowflaking. People die every day, B. Every day. So again, I can't say that it's surprising that was the response from a lot of these people. Can't say that. Because we talk about this on the show all the time. Some of this shit is fairly predictable. I saw people jumping out the window for Kwame Brown. People jump out the window for Trump. Speaking of which, it's kind of funny to me to see the parallels with the Kevin Samuels thing and the Trump phenomenon. There are parallels. If Trump dies today or tomorrow, you're going to find these exact same arguments had. Just switch the name out from Kevin to Donald. And you're going to see the exact same shit playing out again because it's very similar. I was telling them, if Trump dies today or tomorrow, you're going to see these exact same conversations playing out. You're going to have people on one side to follow him that's going to be like, he said he was the great thing. He's there. And you're going to have people who he insulted going, man, fuck him.
No, something I watched yesterday specifically said the Kevin Samuels acolyte is exactly the same as a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
It's the exact same concept.
They literally try to minimize the harm or the insults and stuff that he said and big up the things they think are good. Yeah. Right. And so they don't want to factor that the negative shit in. They only want to talk about that positive shit, or they give lip service about the negative stuff, but still diminish it by going, yeah, he said some things I don't like, but
right.
Whoa. We can't just cover that.
No, it was said
that you just didn't like.
Right.
Right. Didn't like it. Right. It wasn't a deal breaker for you. I hated it was the deal breaker for you. But a lot of that stuff sounds like this guy's is a proxy for you. He's your id. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like he said it and you be thinking it. Of course he could say it. He's got a bunch of money that we know of. He's got a bunch of money, and he's always his entire life has felt entitled to get away with anything he wanted to get away with. So he's gonna say that shit. You've never felt that entitled because society showed your ass quick, bro.
Yeah.
Showed your ass quick. Now you can't just get away with anything that you want to say or anything that you want to do. We can handle you.
Right.
We can limit you.
Right.
But when you see he apparently doesn't have any limits, you start rooting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, B.
Yeah.
Really? But you're going to see the exact same things with him. Because I saw it with Rush Limbaugh. When I was on Twitter, I saw Rush Limbaugh passed. You had his supporters going ham, overemphasizing any good they think he may have done. Although I gotta say it's very scant. A lot of things they were talking to my eyes, a lot of things they was talking about was horseshit, brainwashing as nationalism. You know what I'm saying? That didn't equal up to his lack of care of other people. To me, if you really want to take patriot and nationalism and make something positive with those words, that's caring about the people that you live in the country with, regardless of their ethnic group, regardless of their sexual orientation.
Yep.
You were born here. You are a citizen of here. Therefore, I care if you're eating enough. I care if you're getting medical care. I care that crime is not just overwhelming your neighborhoods. I care because you are one of us.
Right.
One of us. Make that the definition of your nationalism and patriotism. Don't hand me the patriotism that's only symbolic. Look at my flag, y'all.
Right.
I respect this. You don't respect your fellow citizen.
States' rights.
Get out of here. Right. You respect the state. You respect the state. Not the people. Yo, both flex. Right. This.
Yep.
This. They're neighbors to everyone.
Will you be my neighbor?
Hell no. Listen. I'm trying to leave. Oh, hold on. Let me think about that. Yeah, I would be your neighbor. Cause you trying to leave too. yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up. But no, man, like those are my I do have another one too, but I don't know if that's something you're gonna cover.
These screenshots going screenshot, my guy.
Okay. But no, I wanted to actually do a follow-up on the Dave Chappelle incident.
Oh, that's that. No, that's
okay.
Yeah, we can get to that. We're gonna get to that. So yeah, I had already read this screenshot. I don't get black women who defend Kevin Samuels. He ain't like y'all at all. And then the black woman says he definitely said he doesn't like black women, or he doesn't like the bad behavior that black.
I hate when people try to parse that bullshit.
Like, what are you doing?
I hate when
that's real.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah,
it's real. It's real. She elaborated even.
It's real.
It's a real take.
Same black person that will say some virulent racist of another ethnic group, and that might be popular or whatever in a certain ideology circle. They'll say something that is inherently racist, and then that black person will then run to the nuance game and say, "Well, did they actually say they don't like yo?"
Right.
If that's the only way,
if that's necessary for you,
yeah. That you don't really think deeply, do you? Like, critical thinking skill. Like you can't. So you can't extrapolate from what a person says.
Like, we're not in the court of law.
Nah, B.
We're not in the court of law. This is not something that has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. No. What the fuck? Get out my face.
It's the same thing with people.
Feelings. So, damn, another tangent. So, I hate. I'll call us skeptics.
No Bowflex. Not on a rocket. On a plane.
On a plane. Jet maybe, but
jet maybe, but
not on the rocket ship. I don't need to.
I'm only going a few hours away.
Yeah, a couple hours away. Yeah. Damn, I forgot what I was saying.
Feelings.
Yes, feelings. Thoughts. Yo, skeptics, hear me and hear me clearly.
Yes.
I love you, and I hate your guts.
At the same time.
At the same time. I love you because generally you put critical thinking at the fore. That is something that I absolutely adore about us.
Yeah.
The biggest issue that I have with us is when we pretend that feelings and mental capacity and mental state do not matter.
Yeah, it's
you're being stupid. You're being stupid. You're being stupid. I just want you to understand how stupid you're being. You're being a dumbass when you say things like that. Why? Because unlike the reality physical things that we can touch and all that other stuff, the big difference with feelings and mental state is they only, unlike facts, they only require belief to be true.
Right.
That's it. Right. That is the bare minimum.
Right.
The person in question just has to believe it.
Right.
And it is so.
Right.
That your mind is so powerful that this even crosses over into the realm of the physical because you can make yourself sick.
And also, thoughts and beliefs inform actions.
Every time.
So it'll start with the mindset.
Outside of instinct, there is no action that is independent of a thought or belief.
Yeah. So if the person really believes this and really thinks this, they're going to act according to that. I think a lot of that has to do, that's a good point. I think a lot of that has to do with this line that I see a lot of skeptics overlap into a lot. So let's see if I can do this like this. So the skeptics on this end, this is skepticism. On this other end, that's cynicism.
Right.
Because these things can be so close, every so often, skeptics drift a little bit over here, particularly when they know that they're not factually wrong about a certain topic, right? So when the other person makes the attempt to explain their point of view, instead of them observing, okay, this person's mindset is this certain type of way, this person is that, this factors into why they think this is true. I need to be able to understand that in order to be able to get through to this person that this is not true. I cannot get through to this person that this is not true if I tell him, fuck your feelings or fuck what you think.
Right.
I can't get through to them.
It's not helpful.
Now,
It's never going to be helpful.
If that's your goal to get through to them, that's not how you attain that.
You know what? That's funny. That's funny. I would argue that parts of being a cynic are rooted in, I just want to tell you my feeling about this. I don't care about educating you. Not really. I don't really care about educating you.
I just want to show.
I want to show that I know. Right.
I
want to show that I know this thing. I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care about educating you. I don't care about the community being better by this.
Right.
No, I want to show you that I know
self-esteem.
I know
this
the truth.
right.
And you don't, so you're wrong.
So
completely.
So piss on you.
Right.
I'm smart.
Like, get the fuck out of here. You're not being helpful. There are absolutely things. It applies to all of us. There are absolutely things that I do that with. Absolutely. Without question.
Facts.
But the difference, I think what actually makes you a hypocrite is when you don't show the awareness.
Fact.
I know that I do this as well. It doesn't make it right. It's still wrong.
But
it's still wrong.
You know how you wind up correcting that behavior? By acknowledging it.
Yes.
See, if
that's the start of it.
You put the blinders up and say that I don't do this. This is only you and you alone.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why, like I said, you got to acknowledge your blemishes, yo. You got to. Or I can't take a lot of what you say to be credible because you're putting yourself in this position on this pedestal, right? That says, not me, you. Right?
Absolutely. And there are arguments. There are absolutely arguments that I'll have with, well, I don't do it as much anymore, but that I used to have with people where during the argument, I would jump to the other side because at a certain point, it's like, all right, you clearly don't care.
Right.
You aren't affording me the same grace that I'm affording you.
Yep.
All right, fuck it. Now I'm here to demean you. Yeah, I don't care about changing anyone's mind. Here's the thing. Generally, when I'm arguing with someone, I don't go into the argument trying to change their mind.
Right.
I'm talking about on Facebook.
Right.
In real life, it's different.
Right.
But on Facebook, whenever I would go into those arguments, my number one was never to change that person's mind.
Right.
It was always to put out the perspective so that people watching could be like, oh, yeah, maybe.
Because
that's
less informed people than you and the other person you're talking to, if they see somebody put some shit out there and there's no pushback, those type of people will generally accept that as truth or reality.
So that was always my number one when arguing on Facebook. Somewhere on the list, absolutely, in the beginning, was trying to get this person to understand, legitimately understand. But you can do something in the argument that will turn that off for me.
Right.
At a certain point, if you get belligerent, if you show an inability to comprehend,
right,
or an unwillingness to comprehend,
right,
then yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off and flip to the other side. But again, my original intention was pure.
Yeah,
I had good intentions,
right,
but I am only human.
Yo, and that is the other thing too. Like, this is the thing I don't understand. Like these guys in this particular situation are seriously expecting a human to show this Herculean effort of showing grace to somebody that insulted them on a constant, but somebody they don't have no personal connection to.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have no family ties. They didn't know them personally, go to school with them, none of that. Just some guy that, oh, by the way, is adding fuel and talking points and toxic thoughts into the minds of guys like you who then take that shit and go and further it. Just because this man, unfortunately, ideas don't die with the people. Right? They don't. Like ideas can be immortal, especially if they're not challenged. Too. Those videos are still up there. I don't think they're going anywhere. And even if they did, that channel went away. People got clips. They'll be right. They'll be playing it all over the place. And on top of that, his acolytes, his disciples, are all on Twitter with those talking points, all on Facebook with those talking points, IG with those talking points, all of that shit. And so it's not going to die. That's why it needs to be attacked. And this is another reason why these women are going to be pissed about it, because y'all going to keep them talking points alive. Y'all going to keep having that man's words in your mouth.
I legitimately saw a post where somebody posted a picture of Kevin Samuels and the caption said something to the effect of, "I will keep this this thing alive. Mm-hmm. I will make sure I keep this going.
Mm-hmm. I will keep you might as well say I will put these women in their place." Basically.
Like, what? Seriously? Like, you're that?
This is the other reason why, like I said before, man, I look at my particular agenda as blackmail, right? I see the stuff that we do. I see the things that we do and the things that we don't do.
Yeah.
Right? I came from a community. I'm talking specifically west side of Baltimore, where I saw guys walking away from their kids. I witnessed women getting abused. I remember being a little kid, probably about 8, lived up on Wildwood Parkway. Woman came home from a date. I guess she said something the guy didn't want to hear, like he couldn't come in or whatever. And before I know it, he's attacking her. I've seen this. And if you motherfuckers are going to be honest, you've seen it or heard of it too. The things that we do. Then when you look at the college rate, people going to college getting degrees, y'all act as if black women are this just dredge of humanity, that they the ones that's the problem. I got to tell you, bro, there's enough blame for both, but it leans heavy over on the male side. Who's shooting up the block, B? Who's shooting up the block?
But it's just a microcosm. Pretty much all of the issues that society has to deal with kind of skew towards the male side because of patriarchy. Yeah.
Facts. So when I see y'all going in, I get it. The mother of your child may have done something, maybe abusing the child support system. I get it. And you want to take that and multiply that by all other black women. All these other black women.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me explain the whole patriarchy statement I just made. That is not to say that men make more mistakes. That is to say that men have the power, so their mistakes come through.
There it is.
That is
can affect a wide array of people, wide amount of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this isn't a, when I attack patriarchy, it's not a men versus women.
This is a power dynamic.
Right. This is I don't attack patriarchy to say men are better at this or women are better at that. No, it's simply opportunity. If you go up, if your batting percentage is 300, so you're a Hall of Fame batter.
Thank you.
But okay, all right. But you never really get a chance to hit.
Right.
Then it doesn't really matter what your percentage is, because you ain't got no at bats. You don't actually affect the game for
facts.
Your skill may be what it is. Again, yeah, that's I'm talking about women. If you don't,
Yes.
okay, yeah. So your skill may be what it is, but if you ain't got the at bats, you ain't got the at bats. Meanwhile, the person that's first in the lineup, they hitting 192.
But they always up there.
Always up there.
So
they affecting it. They affecting the game directly. It's just that simple.
It's a good analogy because again, like I said, man, the power dynamic is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about. And y'all, I understand some of y'all was missing the dad. I at least had father figures. I had my stepdad, I had my grandfather, I had my brother Marlon. Brother Marlon taught me so much about the street, so much about just standing 10 toes on shit from the time I was 11, right? Some of y'all ain't have none of that. Or the people you had were not the best role models you could have possibly had. You know what I'm saying? I get it. So when you see this guy that looks like he's successful, looks like he's got a lot going on, he's very articulate, this, that, and the thing. I get why you're attracted to him. Yeah, I said it. I get it. I get it. But what I'm telling you is, yo, have just a little bit of dignity in yourself and critical thought in yourself to not just fall head over heels over somebody because of their presentation. And not be so blind to the fact that when he does say those things, even if you make the argument that an hour and 50 minutes of his broadcast was saying good shit, if 10 minutes of that broadcast he's using that to demean the entire group, you should at least have an understanding that the people that are members of that group are going to feel differently about this motherfucker. And honestly, if you really want to keep it a stacked bundle, you should too. Because that's your moms, that's your daughter, that's your sisters, that's your cousins, your aunts. Yeah. That's the homegirl you grew up with. That's the random black woman you see walking down the street that you don't know from Adam, but you don't want to see nothing bad happen to her. Yeah. So stop all this chest beating because you look impotent for real. All this extra words, text, and energy you given to defend him, like you care so much about what people say. He didn't care.
Let's talk about somebody else trying to defend him.
Okay.
The music you listen to and the people who have more influence than literally Kevin Samuels have done more detriment to the black community than someone like Kevin Samuels has ever done. And I've never seen so much polarizing comments toward him. The man never humiliated black women only. He did it to men also. You see how that worked? Okay.
Yeah.
So he did it to men also. His platform was for black people only. And maybe he did say some egregious shit, but there are bigger fish to fry that are actually plaguing our community than someone giving out relationship advice according to them and telling people who are grown as fuck they aren't high value. Laughing my ass off. Like literally, what the fuck? Grow the fuck up. Here's the issue.
He ain't just humiliate them. He humiliated.
Even if, let's just say for argument's sake, because I don't want to read that again. Yeah. Let's just say for argument's sake, everything he said was true.
Right.
True.
Right.
True, as in a fact.
Right.
Objection, relevance.
It's not
because we're not talking about those other things.
Nope.
And everything that he mentioned, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about him humiliating men. We're not talking about people being detrimental to black communities.
Right.
We're not talking about music and how the man has set up hip hop to be this really. We're not talking about any of that. Yeah. None of that is relevant to what we're talking about. The statement wasn't Kevin Samuels is the worst. Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
It wasn't Kevin Samuels is the most.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. No. Right. Kevin Samuels is an issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but what about this issue? Yeah, that's an issue too.
See, you know what you're doing, right? you're using your guys' ears because you know when niggas is deflecting.
Right.
You see, y'all think y'all slick, but I gotta tell you.
What about the rap you listen to and you do? Yeah.
Yo, let me tell you something.
Some of it's pretty bad, but guess what?
Y'all do know the women is on
this too.
Right. Women are on that tactic y'all using. Women are
Yeah.
on to that.
Oh yeah.
Women are, I'm gonna say this again for those in the cheap seats. That tactic you use, because you're using your relationship too. You do. You get caught with numbers in your phone.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. Numbers in your phone that damn well don't come from no family members, no business partners, none of that shit. Or you get caught in some other way where you slipping and you get confronted by your girl. And now
No,
you
stick
go,
to the phone.
You did this.
Stick to the
What
phone.
about this?
No, it's a very simple one. Stick to the phone. You get caught with numbers in your phone. But why are you looking through my phone though?
The deflection. Women caught on to that a long time ago.
Yeah, sure. Maybe it wasn't the most trustworthy thing to look through your phone, but guess what? I found something.
Yeah. Oh, here's the other thing too. This is so pedestrian. If you look for it, you'll find it. No shit.
Right. Yeah, no, that's how, like, legitimately,
if walk,
something exists, right. Yeah, if something exists,
it exists
and I'm using the tools of observation for that particular thing, it will be observed. Yes, absolutely. The fuck? What does that mean?
This thing exists independent of my observation of it.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, yes, that's a separate conversation, and we definitely need to have that. I need to be held accountable for that. I touched your property without your permission.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll put that.
But this first.
But this is still here, though.
This is where we are.
Yeah, this is still here.
Let's complete this one.
Still here.
Then we can go. We can go back to the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what are you? Yeah, but it's cold outside. Yes. It is. What does that have to do
with anything?
I don't understand. Yeah, because the man brought us over here as slaves, and okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's right.
I'm very upset about that.
That happened.
But right now we're talking about
this though. Can we focus on this?
Very simple.
We talk about this?
There are bigger fish to fry. Yeah, but I'm not in the mood for fish right now.
Nah, I'm eating chicken.
Yeah, like I don't. We can eat fish tomorrow.
Yeah, we can eat fish tomorrow.
It'll still be there.
Hell,
those problems ain't going away.
Yeah, I'll eat. Let's say I eat chicken for lunch and fish for dinner. How about we do that?
Absolutely, yeah. Because all those problems that you mentioned will still be there. We're not first of all, we're having discourse online.
Yeah.
We're not solving shit.
No, we're not.
Nothing will be solved at the conclusion of this conversation.
No, not a thing.
So let's not get the fuck out of my face.
Oversell what we're doing.
Yeah. We're having a conversation about real things and how we feel about them. That's what's going on here. There's no reason to involve anything else. We're talking about this.
Right. Right. Listen, look, this is the other thing that bothers me so much about it is because, like, y'all not as slick as you think. You're not the word weaver you think you are. Your arguments are not as unassailable as you think they are. Yeah. They're not. And we see through you. You're not defending Kevin Samuels. You're defending yourself.
Yo,
you're defending yourself.
Well, he actually spoke about men in the same fashion. Only his comments about women. Oh, okay. Oh, well.
Why's that?
No, wait. We also raised taxes on people making over $100,000. Only you are really affected by it because it's disproportionate amount of the money that you make.
Yeah.
What does
that got to do with?
Why does that matter? These are the people that are affected. These are the people that we're talking about.
Yeah.
To say that men weren't affected, they may have been. But again, we're not talking about that right now. Right. Like, what
they do, man? This is what they do.
What do you mean? Like, our earth is slowly dying, and you want to talk about Kevin Samuels? Yeah. Yes. Because there's nothing that I right now can do about that other problem. It's not an imminent problem for me to deal with. Right now, we're having a conversation about this.
And also, it's not lost on me that you're not doing anything about those other things.
Bruh! That part.
And take that time and that energy where you could be feeding those starving children, saving our dying world, and fixing the problems in the Middle East.
Bruh.
Come here to comment that. You're doing that too. You are. You know what you can do? Really, real talk. I like Kevin Samuels. I like what he had to say. I see y'all ain't like him. Ain't none of my business. I'm scrolling up. So you stopped
Very simple.
to comment and engage.
Chose to engage.
Because, like I said, you ain't defending Kevin. You defending you.
Yo, whataboutism is wild to me.
It is.
Like,
It is.
the only, I guess I'm speaking in generalizations, but generally the only time I've really applied that tactic was when I was a kid, and like, you know, oh, you got to eat all your, but he didn't eat all his food, and like that's the only time that I really like remember like using that tactic, because it's just dumb. Like, I don't understand. Yo said like, this is an issue that's being had. I don't understand why women are saying good things about this person when he said bad things about y'all. Sir, he said bad things about guys too.
What's that got to do with what I just
Why?
asked?
What? How is that? It's not relevant.
How's that relevant?
I'm talking about and to women.
Yeah.
You decided to get. It goes back to the video that I made.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an opinion. My opinion, it's going to sound terrible. My opinion happens to be a good opinion, but that don't matter. I still say, hey, this really about your. All right, so take it off of that. Take it off of that. There was someone who said some things, whether directly or indirectly, about Toon.
Right.
When I became privy of said things, I wanted to go in.
Right.
I feel like I was correct in feeling a way about that. But my first step was, hey, Tim.
Right.
What we doing?
What we doing?
That is how, like, there's
Facts.
no reason for me to overstep my boundary here.
Facts. What we doing?
Particularly if you're not as affected as I feel like it's possible.
And yo,
you
me,
you chilling?
Deal with that.
Okay.
I've had to deal with that because part of my personality type is that of a protector.
Right.
I've had to restrain myself because the people that are close to me, when something happens to them, I get mad for them.
Right.
I get mad for them. If later today, Og McCall hits me up on Facebook or whatever and tells me that a certain situation took place, or I find out from somebody else that it took, now I'm mad for him.
Right.
Now, there's two things I can do about that. I can take it upon myself to exact vengeance. You know what I'm saying? Some sort of vengeance somehow.
Right.
Or I can hit my man and go, yo, are you aware of this?
Right.
What we doing?
Right.
Because I don't know what he has in mind. I don't know what he's planning to do. I don't know what the circumstances around that he may not want to affect right now.
I'm not informed enough to be able to critically make this decision. I need more info. Hey, what's going on with this?
Right.
Why is this? I don't like this. What's happening?
Right.
Oh no, don't worry about it. You sure?
Yeah, I got it.
No, it's taken care of. Not an issue. Oh, all right.
Yeah. That's how
that's supposed to go. Now you've decided. Oh no. Well, men. Well, you're starting off wrong, son. That word wasn't used before. You're introducing new shit to the conversation. Like,
right.
What are we doing?
Right.
Shit, Ogma, look, you said serious to me the green light. He won't give me the green light.
No.
I've been trying.
Ooh.
He made me rewrite an entire verse.
Facts. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. It's tactics.
But yes,
chestnut checkers.
So another to your original point about this, somebody on Twitter was talking about Kevin Samuels, and here comes some dude. That man don't degrade women.
Dun, dun, dun.
And a woman responded to him, well, he don't know more because he's past tense now. And I'm like, oh.
They did that to themselves.
You asked for that. Yeah, you asked for that.
You did to yourselves.
You asked for that.
You did to
Shut
yourself.
your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Who told you to even engage with it?
Right.
Who?
Now, for all I know, I'm putting my optimism cap on.
Right.
I don't wear it often. For all I know, his statement may have been peer reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
He may have asked women in his life. He may have opened Twitter, seen the conversation going on,
right.
closed Twitter, gone to his inbox, gone to his text messages. Hey, you know the Kevin Samuels guy?
Went into the lab and
you know the Kevin Samuels guy. Have you been offended by anything he said?
He may have consulted some linguist.
Yeah,
language that Kevin Samuels used, and whether it's the inflection of it is hostile.
Right.
Or
did an entire double blind study.
Yeah, he might have done all of
Took
that.
Kevin Samuels' name out of it, inserted the facts,
right?
Gave it to someone else. How do you feel about this? And then came back with the conclusion that no, in fact, Kevin Samuels may not be degrading women. And then he put his sauce on it because it's Twitter. You only got certain amount of characters.
Facts.
That man don't degrade women. Guess what? You still got exactly what you deserve.
You did. You didn't have to engage.
You didn't have to engage.
Yo, that's the other thing too. I see them saying shit like this. Just don't watch them.
Okay.
So when you see
his
posts where women are going in on him,
keep the same energy.
Just don't read it. Don't comment.
That's it. Simple.
It's self-owned, the self-ponage that a lot of you guys do. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what I'm talking about when listen, the podcast era that we live in. Like I said earlier in the show, motherfuckers are looking for material to go off on, to have these hot takes and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's got to be a certain level of responsibility from people that have huge following and are influencers. Like, yo, because I know how absolutely susceptible to bullshit humans are, I try to be careful with the words that I speak. Because there are a few thousand people that could potentially be influenced by something that I say. Shoosh.
Like way more.
Shoosh.
Okay.
There are a few thousand people, you know what I'm saying? Maybe like 100 of them or so, right? That absolutely could be influenced by something I say. So I try to be responsible.
It depends on your definition of the word few.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to be responsible. Some of you not, though. And we actually going to talk about that before the end of the show, too, because we're going to talk about the
we ready. We here.
Let's dig in. Matter of fact, preface that real quick. I'll be right back.
All right. So, unless you've been living under a rock, you're aware of what happened with Chris Rock and Will Smith at the Oscars. Quick recap. Chris made a joke involving Jada Pinkett Smith, who happens to be married to Will Smith. Jada didn't like the joke. Upon realizing or assuming how much Jada didn't like the joke, Will Smith decided to get up and he walked on stage and he slapped Chris Rock. It was a slap scene around the world. We all seen it. We all heard it because Chris Rock was mic'd up. It sounded a lot worse than it looked. But it is what it is. It happened. So from that, the concept of the idea of comedians being attacked while on stage was something that a lot of comedians were talking about, because
What up, Secular?
forget that he's Will Smith. He was a person in the audience, and he got up and he went on stage and he assaulted the comedian.
Yes.
So fast forward, you have one of Chris Rock's close friends, Dave Chappelle.
Yes. Yes.
And he was doing a routine, and a young man came on stage and attempted to tackle him.
Right.
Well, that young man fucked around,
So he found out.
and that young man found out. He was then stomped by a cavalcade of security and other celebrities. He was stomped out. I believe Jon Stewart was there.
No, he wasn't. You're so ass.
I believe no. I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
You always said that was a joke, yo.
Okay.
Your ass. I wish Jon Stewart would have did that. You met Jon Stewart.
Well, Jamie Foxx was there. Chris Rock was there. Several of Dave's friends, and again security.
Yes.
Proceeded to stomp dude out, and his arm got broken in the process. Bent backwards, in a way that your arm is not supposed
Your
to.
arm. See, typically up there on the shoulder, where it works. Excuse me. Can we get the X-ray? The way where the arm typically goes, it doesn't really turn it that way, right?
Nah, B.
That's
It
not
was-
that's not
It
what the
was
arm's supposed to do.
egregious. Like I've been telling people that Doctor Strange is a horror movie. That could have gone in that movie.
I'm
And it
gonna keep it
would've
100
fit.
with you though. I think they went easy on him.
Listen,
They went easy.
seeing, I saw another clip. I think they did.
They went easy on him.
I do.
Come at SBJ with a knife. And we all standing around. Come at Adequate with a knife and we all standing around. Come at Big Mike.
Mm,
Come at Joe. And we standing around.
right.
It's not gonna work out. It's not
Uh-uh.
gonna that he had a couple of boo-boos.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Effectively, it didn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't commensurate with what could have happened.
no, it wasn't.
Nah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, that was a part of it. So a couple very funny moments from Chris Rock followed. And one of them was Dave Chappelle. He came back on the stage after the incident and was giving jokes, made jokes about Jamie being there in the sheriff hat. And Chris was on stage, and Chris was like, "Was that Will Smith?"
So
And then another night, Dave was on stage. This was actually in an impromptu set him and Chris went to, and Dave said, "Well, shit, at least you got attacked by somebody with some repute. I got attacked by a homeless man with leaves in his hair." And Chris Rock then said, "Shit, I got slapped by the softest nigga to ever rap." So I'm glad to see that they're both in good spirits after their situations.
I want to make a couple of things clear too. There are times I laugh at Chris Rock. There are times I don't.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of times I laugh at Dave Chappelle. There are times when I don't.
Mm-hmm.
He has publicly criticized Dave Chappelle on this show.
Absolutely.
That does not change the fact that if you come up there on stage,
Yo, listen.
and
And the funny thing about that is when the Chris Rock thing happened, one of the first things I said was, that wouldn't have happened to James Chappelle. It wouldn't have went like that. Well,
now we know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Now we know.
And here's proof positive. That man walked out there with a backwards arm. It's what happened.
It's what happened, dude. It's what happened.
Well, all right, hold up, Agna. I think you're getting the wrong implication from that. It can imply that people aren't responsible, but I don't think responsible is the right word.
No.
Because the truth is, take any incident in the history of this country that has gotten major media attention
That's the
from
key
the
word.
first person to do it.
That's the key word.
99.9% of those incidents have copycats.
Yeah.
So, like, let's not pretend we don't know people.
So much so that law enforcement factors that in.
Bruh.
Law enforcement factors that in.
Right.
You know, they go, we have a few copycats.
Right.
So they obviously acknowledge the fact that some crime, some event that takes place that gets national attention, there are people out there who are mentally unhinged, who will see stuff like that and then think that's my cue to do this.
Yeah.
That's my cue to do that. It doesn't make logical sense.
It's not like you take they're not off the hook because somebody did it. No, not at all. That's why I wouldn't use the word responsible.
Yeah.
Because they're not off of the hook.
Inspired.
But it is a fact, right? It is a fact that when these things happen, it don't happen once.
And again, it wouldn't, like I said, the law enforcement wouldn't factor that in if that wasn't an actual phenomenon.
Yeah.
They wouldn't they absolutely factor that in. Like copycats, like when they do their investigations, like say there's a serial killer and they get national attention, right? And then all of a sudden someone else gets killed the exact same way the serial killer is doing it. But before the police attribute it to the one that they're investigating, they first see if this is a copycat. Somebody who saw this get attention, now they try and do the same thing.
No, hold on. I still think you're looking at take the word responsible out of it.
Will's not responsible for the dude's
Nobody's saying that Will is nobody's saying is Will should get the consequences for this dude choosing to do something. You're using the word responsible. You're like conflating the separate definitions of the word responsible. When I say that, let's use Will Smith and fudge something. Right. He got the first rap Grammy. So he's responsible for rappers getting Grammys. It's a statement that could be made with some accuracy. That's the thing. He set a precedent. He doesn't deserve the consequences for Kendrick Lamar putting together an album that deserves a Grammy. Right. But before he did it, it wasn't a thing that was done.
He opened the door for it.
Right. He opened the door for it. That's the word. That's the definition of responsibility.
And a lot of that
absolutely applies.
A lot of that is predicated on the credibility and attention of the person that initially did it. So, like, for instance, long before Rosa Parks, there was another sister that did the exact same thing. She got no exposure for it, no media coverage, and none of that. Rosa Parks did it under.
Boondocks actually made a joke about that.
They actually did.
Robert on the bus with her at the same time and receiving no credit. We're not paying you no money.
Right? But Rosa did when Rosa did it, and a lot of that also had to do with a perfectly crafted campaign about civil rights.
Perfectly crafted campaign, and the person with the right aesthetic. Yeah. To be in that position.
Facts. They really they did a judo move with the narrative. They knew what y'all was going to do.
Yeah.
Y'all, and so they used that momentum against you.
Right.
They knew you was going to do that. But the moment somebody gets a lot of the media press for some shit and they get a lot of credibility for it, you always have people coming after that trying to do the same thing.
Yeah. He said, I'm saying people are saying this shit wouldn't have happened if Will Smith didn't do it. That might be true. But no, let's put a period after that might be true instead of putting but there. So your second point, these people were looking for any excuse to jump off. So if it wasn't this, it would have been something equally extreme. We don't know that. It may have.
That's possible.
Yeah. It might even be likely.
Yeah, again, people are bugging when they say that this even Will was the first. Will wasn't the first.
Right, he wasn't the first person to do it
for years. I just saw an article a couple of days ago about the amount, the many times where comedians have been attacked on stage, or had
somebody threw something at them,
right, or had public opinion turned against them, or had the government go after them. I'm seeing if I can find that thing, because you would be surprised at the amount of people where that's happened to.
One of the best ways to deter something is not, and it's not just crime, but one of the best ways to deter something is to not show people that it happened.
Right. That it's possible to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That it's possible to do. You know, damn, I can't find that specific one. But like I said, history shows you, like, I remember back during the 90s, Andrew Dice Clay, Sam Kinison. Like I remember the time when there was literally an outrage about the type of things they would say.
Yeah.
Radio disc jockeys like Howard Stern, Don Imus, the Grease Man. I remember how there were literal Senate hearings on that. That's why I find all of this funny now, and I know it's an offshoot of the culture we live in. We have the current culture we live in. We have to answer a specific question. Why does this society have an inability to remember things that happened after only a few decades ago? Because there are incidents that have taken place all the way back to the fucking 70s with comedians, violence, what they're saying, the conversational free speech, all this other stuff has been going on for a while. But for some reason, in this current time, in this TikTok generation, in this Instagram, I don't know what the fuck it is, but for some reason, there's an inability for this society. I'm not talking about individual members that may not have been around during that time when these things happened, so they didn't have any knowledge of it. I'm talking about just as a whole, this society has a habit now of forgetting things that took place decades ago, and that's been going on for decades, and then coming around when it happens currently, going, we've never seen this before. Yes, the fuck we have. We absolutely have. When that thing with George Floyd, why does this society continue to have an inability to remember? I think a part of it is it's a multiple answer question. One of the answers is some people operate in bad faith. I mean, there's just nothing you can. There's nothing you can do about that one. There's nothing you can do about that one. The first one. Big.
Another answer is it's the phenomenon that we all fall victim to, where you'll see a topic, right? And let's say you're on Facebook,
right?
And you see people talking about the topic, and they're attacking one side of the topic. And it's people who are affected by it.
Yeah.
Then you go on Twitter and you see people who are affected by the same topic attacking the other side of it.
Yes.
And we'll often say, well, they can't make their mind up. They don't know what they actually want. Well, no, these aren't the same actual people.
Right.
Saying these things. They just so happen to belong to the same group. So you are generalizing, and we all do that. We all do that. Another part of it could be that some of these things don't get like I said a couple minutes ago, you don't want people to see something, they won't see it.
Right.
And if you generally don't want to see something, you won't see it.
See, that's the thing that makes this even more curious to me, because take the Howard Stern and the FCC situation.
Mm-hmm.
That was very public. That was in newspapers. That was on TV. They did fucking rallies in New York where thousands upon thousands of people came out there while Howard Stern standing up on the stage with the thing doing this. The press covered it. Like these things. So, like I said, I understand individual people who wasn't born back then. And it's, to me,
sure, yeah, of course.
The same as with Star Wars. You had to be there to know how big it
right.
was. You really did. But I'm talking about as the overall.
I'll give you an example.
I'll give you an example.
Rodney King. So
they wore his ass out.
Absolutely. But if you look at back then and now, the difference between Rodney King and George Floyd, one, communication was not as advanced as it is now.
Yeah.
Two, cameras were not as good as they are now. They were not as prevalent as they are now.
Right.
And the main one, there was not an international incident that put everybody the fuck down and said, whatever happens right now, you're going to focus on that because you can't do shit else and you don't want to focus on me.
Yeah, the 24-hour news cycle, while not new, because that's been going around, that's been a couple of decades that's been happening, added along with the internet.
Bruh.
Though that's a powerful combination for people to certain incidents to, I would say that even with, trust me, Rodney King got a bunch of coverage back then.
Oh, yeah.
They had a whole damn riot in fucking LA.
Absolutely. Right.
But it's still, imagine that happening now.
Right. And here's the thing.
Of the internet.
So they had the riot in LA. It is possible that people in Utah had no idea. Today, again, with the pandemic, saying, no, y'all sit down and look at everything that's happening.
Right.
Because y'all can't do shit else. Y'all got to be in the house.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody, like, you couldn't hide from, I think that's really what sums it up the most.
Yeah.
No matter if you wanted to see it or not, no matter if you felt like you were able to see it or not, there was nothing you could do. You could not hide from it. You could not escape it. You couldn't feign ignorance about it. You couldn't pretend that there was nobody talking about it. You couldn't pretend that it wasn't available for you to see. That none of these excuses existed for the George Floyd thing. I think that's really the biggest thing. You couldn't not have seen it. You couldn't not have heard about it. There's no way, because even the people, even the most racist pieces of shit in the damn world, there were people that are like you who were talking about it because they had a strong side to be on, as far as it was concerned. So we know that humans left to their own devices aren't, like, there are several adjectives I can put right there. The most trustworthy.
Yeah.
Now, ironically, you're left to your shared devices.
But see, that's what I'm saying right there, is that it's not just now. Like, talk to any comedian that's on the circuit. Will tell you about the times they got swung on in the parking lot for some shit they set up on stage. They will tell you about the motherfuckers throwing bottles. They would tell you about, like, yo, there is a history of that. It's just that once that becomes a point of conversation in a society with an internet, you can't escape it. You scroll up your Facebook, you looking to see what grandma just posted, and you see 10 posts about Will Smith smacking Chris Rock. You can go on Twitter. You looking to see people's reactions to the last football game, and you see 100 posts referencing the. You can't escape it.
You can't escape it.
It's crazy now. Crazy.
I want to correct this whole this idea, because I've seen this idea, and I excuse this incorrect take because I believe that y'all not really watching the Oscars like that. Like, there's nothing you can do to convince me that Ogma religiously watches the Oscars. Like, you can't.
There's nothing you can do to convince me to religiously watch the Oscars.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm not religiously watching the Oscars, but the idea that this wasn't a Def Jam roast type setting is categorically false. For years, the Oscars has been the comedian that's on stage at the given time, whether it be the host or presenter, is going to roast people in the audience. 100%, 1000% has been the fact.
You can see, you can find clips of Billy Crystal,
Billy Crystal,
like, that's a thing.
No, that's the thing. That's absolutely what they do at the Oscars when a comedian is on the goddamn stage. Right. He's scanning. If he doesn't already have the shit prepared.
Now, to the degree of how deep they get in the roast,
that's something else. They don't belabor
the point, right?
They don't stick on a person.
They hit the room.
But as you see, Chris Rock didn't either. He had just made a joke about Penelope Cruz and Penelope Cruz and her husband.
No, that's fact.
That's what we're saying. Yeah, it's not the deep, it's not the deep, sharp, piercing, staying, hitting the same wound. No, it's scattershot. It's scattershot. But that's what Chris was doing. He was scattershot. He didn't make 7 jokes about Jada.
No.
He made a joke about one couple, each of them. Then he made a joke about this couple, each of them. So that's what they do. That's what they do with the Oscars.
They've been doing that. That's and I would even argue not even just at the Oscars, at any of these events where they have up there, they do that. They do that.
Pretty much.
It's just, I don't know, like I said, shit. I would say shit is getting out of hand, but actually it's the narrative. It's the narrative building that's out of hand to me. Because if these things were things that were happening already, and they were, they just were. And we're only now building the narrative that things are going out of hand. It's the narrative that's out of hand. These events have been taking place. They've been happening, and it wasn't of any importance for a lot of people because, one, it wasn't getting the press.
Right.
2, there was no internet where you could see literally upload the clip. I was at this comedy show, and the motherfucker ran up there and did something and uploaded it up on Twitter. They ain't had that back then and shit. But now that everyone has a camera, like SBJ said, everyone has a camera. Camera quality is typically better, although I find it ironic that in the world with all these 4K this, 4K that, when some shit take place, a lot of the video footage we see is trash.
It's always trash. No, always.
It's just trash. It's just trash. You know what I'm saying? But either way, what happened to the guy Isaiah Lee? That was his name. Can we get to this part of this? When it happened, Dave Chappelle jokingly set up on stage. It was a trans man.
Mm-hmm. And Aries took it and ran.
50 Cent took it and ran.
Mm-hmm.
These people have significant followings, with the exception of Aries. I mean, Aries has a following, but it's not their level.
Yeah, but he got a following. He got a following.
They took this shit, they ran with it, and now what you wind up having is, again, the less critically thinking among us, which is the vast majority of us, saw those things and are running with the idea that somebody from the LGBTQ community went up there and did that. They out to kill Dave in front of us. This is crazy. I sent all this other stuff. Well, you fucking chuckleheads.
Yeah.
As it turns out, Isaiah Lee is a rapper who's not part of any of that, the LGBTQ plus community. He had a song dissing Dave Chappelle. And he's a Trump supporter.
Yeah, he just wanted the attention.
He wanted the attention. And the other thing that he said, and I don't know if he's throwing this in as an addendum or the real reason or whatever, he wanted to do that to get the attention because his mom was losing the house. That's the other thing that I read.
And that's interestingly enough, that's why Dave didn't press charges. Because
that's why they
talked with him and he told him about his mother and all that other stuff.
So the state gave him some misdemeanors. I disagree with the state because I know in situations that I have unfortunately been in, depending on the particular crime, the state picks up the charges. Mm-hmm. It's not just about your ass saying, I don't want to put. No,
he said about Chris
against the state. You can't do that here.
LA wanted to. LA could have taken up the charges against Will Smith.
Jared says raps is corny. How come I don't doubt that?
I mean, I don't.
Sure they are. I'm pretty sure they corny as fuck, right?
Yeah.
So again, but what wound up happening is somebody with influence, just a joke, passing joke, because he pacing. You know, they ain't got good timing. That's why he is what it is. This is the time. It was a trans man.
Yeah, it like as much as I hate the idea. It made too much sense. It was too easy of a joke.
It was right there. It was hanging there. It was low hanging fruit. He had to grab it and eat it. Yeah. So when he did that, though, people went and ran with it. Now let me say this: if a rash of attacks on the LGBTQ plus community had happened, as a result of this narrative going around saying they tried to kill Dave Chappelle, but this and when you couple that with the other narratives that have been floating around, their agenda, this other narrative that goes around, oh yeah, they got control of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Words matter. When you sit there with a straight face and say that words don't, when you're someone that your stock and trade is words, you literally make money using words, that's disingenuous. It just is. It just is. So here's the thing. Isaiah Lee, not part of the LGBTQ community. This is what I mean by being responsible as a broadcaster. Because let's say Dave said that in the moment. He shouldn't have. But let's say he said that in the moment. Other people with big platforms took that and ran with it and started that narrative. That's how quick it can start in the era of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That's how quick it can go. And people can get harmed because of that. So
and that's what I was about to say. Something that is seemingly innocuous.
Yes.
Because it was just the off. It was.
But there's a context here.
Yeah, I don't want to sit here and praise this particular. I'm talking about the style. I'm talking about the process. It's a masterclass in comedy. Honestly, you are a person who was of great repute, to use his word, and you have this current issue going on, at least recent issue, because it's died down. But you have this recent issue of the narrative, whether it's true or false, the narrative that you have an issue with trans people.
You keep
right.
Them in your
so now you get attacked. The joke writes itself.
Yeah.
The joke writes itself. It was a trans man.
Right.
It was a trans man. Again,
narratives compound people.
Regardless of whatever other joke he made about the trans community, regardless of the intentions behind any of them, this particular joke was not meant with malice. No. It was simply a off the cuff reaction to what happened. But that now turns into this whole thing because somebody saw that joke, may or may not, because again, we're not talking about intentions, may or may not have understood that it was a joke.
Right.
And then ran with it.
And the one thing I would love for us to normalize the understanding of narratives compound.
Yeah.
God damn it. If you just went through a whole thing where you had people coming at you saying you're targeting their community, no one's going to have the ability to isolate that statement, that joke from everything else. Narratives compound. So it's not just, using as an example, it's not just that black people are not as intelligent as everybody else.
Right.
They're also more violent.
Mhm.
It's not. They definitely are incompetent. They're not. They're dirty. They're
all of that
narratives compile.
Yeah.
So I get that. Oh no, it fits. It's like a puzzle piece. But in his mind, to come up with that, he was thinking about those incidents. Well, you wouldn't have said it. Imagine if none of this took place. That's not the joke he'd have reached for.
Right.
He wouldn't have reached for because that wasn't relevant.
It wasn't a thing.
It wouldn't have to call back. It wouldn't have to call back to the incident. Gotta be careful, people. Stuff you say. As a broadcaster, we don't have nowhere near the numbers of some of these other celebrities who don't podcast.
Right.
They don't have no podcasts. They just go on their Instagram or their Twitter saying shit, right? Not, like you can't just take shit and run with it without you being at least reasonably sure that that's what it is. And then know the other thing that pissed me off, about 50 Cent especially, after you did that, after you said that in front of all of your people, and you had all these people running with it, there was no retraction after that. There was no
there won't be.
And it won't be. So now many people are going to go keep thinking the trans people tried to do this today. And I'm going to have to hear that 10 years from now. If somebody mentions this incident, they will say, remember when the trans man? Dave Chappelle?
No, that's just factual. That's just factual.
Come on, man.
It's irresponsible.
It's irresponsible.
And nobody cares.
It's irresponsible. It's a regular shit show. Fires. Let's talk about fires. The only continuous fire, the longest continuous fire that we have intimate connection to is the sun.
Oh, I thought you wanted to see sun.
No, no. I'm talking. Listen, just walk with me.
No, because the flame. No, because I'm just or like the Olympians, because you should turn the flame. Yeah, because
we don't all have connection. We don't have a connection to that. Okay. The sun.
Yeah,
the sun has been gone for billions of years.
It's effectively eternal.
It's effectively eternal.
Yo, hold up. That goes back to my point. When thoughts and feelings and mental state, it's not eternal. It's gonna die at some point. But for our purposes, it's infinite.
It's infinite. It's gonna stay. And
right.
That's the sun, the fire. It's burning. It's burning. It's burning. It's burning.
Outside of the catastrophic event of it dying while we're still here.
Oh, it's gonna die eventually anyway. It's inevitable.
Right.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
But that flame is continually going and going and going and going. Some other shits, flames do die the fuck out though. Absolutely die the fuck out. We see it got a match in your hand and the shit dies the fuck out. Right?
If you live in Seattle and you light a fire outside, it's not gonna last long.
Yes, that's exactly what we said, JR. The sun's going to die eventually. It's going to take longer than humans, than our lifespans.
Yeah,
of course, but it's going to eventually die. But for us, for our lifespans, it's effectively forever. I'm not unless something super crazy happens.
Yeah, unless the catastrophic happens, it's effectively for all intents and purposes. Anything that matters to us personally, the sun is infinite.
It's going to outlive everything. It's going to outlive everything that we have any reference for. It just is. You know what I'm saying? But that's how some of these stories are. Like some of these narratives, they stay and they stay and they stay because they keep getting rekindled. They keep getting rekindled. Oh, the fire looks like it's going low. Time to bring this up. Oh, there's some more wood on it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, damn, I don't have enough lighter fluid. This thing's starting to go out. Woo!
Right.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah. I don't know. There's no fix. That's the biggest problem.
There is no fix. There's no fix, bro.
Yeah,
there's no fix.
Just like effectively the sun is eternal, there's effectively nothing we can do.
The only fix that there is a complete a complete reset.
I really don't want. I understand your perspective on this. I don't want it. I'd rather.
Bro, I don't want it either. This is what I want. I want us to go off into the sunset with palm trees in the backdrop. and breeze off the Caribbean. I want that. I want that. I don't want that shit either. But if you want a true, exactly, exactly. If you want all this stuff, the only way that some of this shit gets fixed is complete reset.
Yeah, no,
and I am not completely convinced that they won't spring back up in some way, shape.
Oh no, here's the thing.
Because it's human shit.
Here's the thing. Eventually, but I think we've had a good enough run to be like, all right, cool, let's start over. It'll be a good while before we have to worry about that thing. Well, it won't be us worrying about it.
No,
but
I'm already very comfortable with the idea that if nukes start popping off, I'll be amongst the ones that's the fuck up out of here.
Here's the thing. I get your perspective. I'm not using the word comfortable in that sentence. I'm simply not. I understand. No, I understand. I wholly understand your statement. I'm still not using the word comfortable there. I'm just not.
It's a thing. This is
I just matters none.
I'm 6 minutes from DC. Listen.
No, I get it. No, your point is valid.
Oh, J.R. Hendry, exactly. A corona mass ejection. I just watched a video on that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, again,
that's
we don't
shit. Reset. That's a reset.
Correct. But again, I'm just not. I don't want it.
and can I just say this? You don't want the first part, and you really don't want the hereafter.
No,
you don't want what's going to be here after that shit takes place, because it's going to take a whole bunch of time for shit to even get to be a semblance of what it was before.
Bruh.
You don't want that existence.
What is stability?
Is there really such a thing as
question?
Is there really such a thing as stability when we exist on this small layer of bacteria and foliage on a moving planet in a hostile universe? Is there really such thing called stability? Or are we so belabored by the fact of our impermanence that the things that could take place seem so far off and outside of our individual lifespans that we think everything is stable? The reality is
not just that. It's a combination of that. It's three. I think it's 3 parts. It's 1 part that, 1 part ignorance, 1 part security theater. Security theater is very important. Like people don't want the truth.
Facts.
People think they want the truth, but
you don't really.
Generally, you don't want the truth. Yeah. If you truly understood percentages and someone told you the truth, it would not be welcoming.
No, it wouldn't be. Because I want to go through my day. You know what I want to do? I want to write my comic book.
Bruh.
I want to play my Lego Star Wars game. You know what? That's what I want. What I don't want to do is look at the percentage.
Nigga, I have no desire to, like, that's... Wow.
Yo, I got... Why is Mike, yo?
Yo. He can't help it. He's inevitable. Yo, I need you to hurry up and watch this damn movie. I know. That does not change.
I got you.
Oh my God.
I got you. Bro, like, listen. Overall, we did a lot of fussing today. And we're getting near to the end. So I want to throw some good shit into this mix. All right. So you guys remember a little while back, I had got the demo version of the first issue of Extra V and Entropy issue 0, right? And it came like this. Huge.
Yeah.
We had the wrong specs, but still nice. And we might do a version. We think about doing a version of this, but it'll have way more pages with extra shit in there as a collector's item. We're thinking about that.
Right.
So we finally got in the regulation size version demo, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and on top of that, it fits nice and neatly in those little baggies that you use to protect cover and stuff like that. This issue is typo free. That's the other thing. You know what I'm saying? We got already all the typos. So this one is a collector's item.
Right.
Right? No, actually, I take that back. This one still has 3 typos in here. So this is a collector's item as well. This has way more. This has way more.
Right.
Way more in here. We wound up fixing the typos and gave the printer a refreshed PDF of the file. They looked at it, and we're not going to get a demo for that. We're just going to wait until after we do the Kickstarter, and once we fund the thing, we'll get the other books and stuff. But to show you the difference in size, this is the super large, super luminal one. That's the difference, B. That's how much we was off, B. That's how much we was off. But we got it.
Damn
together.
humans.
Right. We got it together. Yes, McKenna. She absolutely caught some of the typos. She said, I know my mom caught some of the typos. She's such a grammar spelling Nazi by nature. J.R. Hendry asks, are y'all still working on entropy and entropy?
For sure.
You mean the book or the music? Because the music, yeah, we're still working on that. The book is ongoing. So yeah, we're gonna be working on that for the foreseeable future. There's gonna be several, like we're already 4 issues. We've already written like 4 issues already. They just needed the artwork with 3 of the issues. They need the artwork done. But this is done, effectively done. We're just gonna get the physicals done once we do the Kickstarter. After we do the Kickstarter, we're gonna get the physicals done. But yeah, bro, that's done. And this story arc, I had a conversation with Graydon about that. I think initially Graydon thought this was going to be a short. We could truncate this. I went, yeah, that's not going to happen. We don't have the resources currently to do every month. Right. So this year we're probably gonna top out at maybe releasing 4 issues this year, right? But this overall story arc is longer than that. It's longer than that. I'm super excited about it. I know SBJ is super excited about it.
Come on.
I am so happy that there are so many people that's excited about it to be able to finish what we're doing here and then be able to move on to the other issues. That's the shit. We're getting more efficient at it. Where this issue 0 took all this time, man, listen, issue 2 took 2 months.
One.
And it's almost ready for color, for to be colored.
You're confusing the people.
Oh, issue 0 took all this time. Issue 1, 2 months. It just needs to be colored and lettered, and that's done. Issue 3 written. Issue 4, all the story beats in place.
You just did it again.
Shoosh.
I'm just
okay. Shoosh.
Clearly, there were some editorial issues. I'm just trying to offer my services.
Look, it's our fault.
Consistency.
It's our fault because of the way that we chose to number these.
Sure.
So it's going to be what it is.
I still think it was the correct decision.
I do too.
It was the correct decision to go with issue 0.
But it's a little difficult.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
A little difficult, you know what I'm saying? But also that big interview we supposed to have with Seth Andrews got bumped to this Monday. So we're gonna have it Monday, but it actually not gonna air until June. So he has this schedule of interviews that he has uploaded, because when you have a big channel, you kind of got to do that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You
absolutely.
got to do that. But so be on the lookout for that. And of course, we want to thank all of you guys once again for coming on the show on Saturday,
Always
engaging with us. Really appreciate that. Appreciate your feedback, all the shit that you guys do to support the show and to support the comic book and everything else. Definitely appreciate that. Don't
Thanks,
forget,
Mike.
Facts, Mike. Anything worth doing is worth doing from zero. Facts.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out my man Jaded Nerd channel. He does Celebrity Gossip Beat. Also, don't forget the Metas and Mutants podcast with man Super Side Guy.
Hey. Hold on, slow down.
We talking about?
It kind of fits into both things you're saying, so let me just do that. So the deeper dive contribution for this week will be that Doctor Strange review. It's up already,
right?
So I'm it is not realistic. I thought about this.
Mm-hmm.
I've always, for the longest time, I've stopped announcing schedules.
Mm-hmm.
But I've really thought about this because I've been watching more video essayists. It's not realistic to put a video out every week.
If you look at the way these other people,
they do not do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, so I'm going to not do that as well, because it's, again, it doesn't. They're as easy as it has been so far. It's not realistic. That's not going to last.
Right.
Again, I never promised it, but still, it was happening. So I just want to make that clear. There will not be a new, deeper dive style video every week. Yeah. If it happens every other week, there may be a video in between that is something else, but it will not be that.
Facts.
So yeah, those aren't going to happen every single week.
And plus, as soon as I decide what the fuck I want to do, I'm going to jump in. So then some weeks it'll be some video that I'll put up there.
But that leads me to my thought that I had yesterday. I didn't say anything to you yet.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Doctor Strange.
You have.
Cyrus, I think, is going Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going next week. Spoiler discussion on Metas and Mutants?
That sounds like a plan. And do the whole video thing with the...
Yeah. So,
yeah.
And we can post that on the Multi-World page.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But yeah, so you guys know what it is. We'll be here next week. Same bad channel, same bad time, provided the internet doesn't go out.
Yeah, but provided the plethora of issues that could possibly happen, that none of them happen.
You know what I'm saying?
We're going to be here.
If the sun is still up, they didn't nuke us, we will be here. So for my man SPJ, I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and for the greater Multi-World Entertainment family, we are out.